Hello, everybody. Indeed, that is the quest, as Axie said there. Hello, everyone. How we all doing? Hope you're having a lovely, I was gonna say hump day, but it's not really Wednesday for everybody. So, oh god, there's all the hype. It's raining down on me. Ah! I love that. I think it's one of the coolest, like, new little things they did in VTS. Just making it so that you got the things dropping down, you know? Really fun. Really, really fun. Well, I'm gonna sit here and just chat for a bit, see how everyone's doing. See if any of the other regulars are gonna come on in. I'd hate for them to miss the explanation where everyone asking what the hell a video game book club was. Would really suck if they they missed the explanation of what the hell's going on. Yeah, everyone's so confused. I love it. There's no clues here anywhere. Like, the stream's set to just chatting. Like, you got no idea what's going on. Not even Axie knows. That's the best part. I know you're always confused, Axie. You're more confused than usual because even you don't know what's going on. Usually you get like an insight into my dumb plans, and even tonight it's just like, nah, you got nothing. You Ahsoka. Am I gonna have to go and find the image for that so I can put it up on screen so that that joke makes sense to other people, or should I just leave it? Make people as confused as you are. He said yes. I'm waiting to see if you want me to leave people as confused as all of the... Well, that doesn't work. Anyway. Well, no, I'm not confused. I'm just bewildered. That's right, I used a synonym. What you gonna do? I don't even know. Now I'm gonna go and find the image. I love that when I type in to Google, Ahsoka is confused, it comes up with Ahsoka is confused meme. I'm like, That's, ow. Why would you do that? Oh, not that one. Yes. Oh, this is the best tweet. I found a tweet with the image in it. The tweet just says, so because I've been playing a lot of Mahjong, I also decided to watch Akagi, which is ostensibly also about Mahjong, but comes with the bonus of having funny meme faces associated with it. It's funny because it's true. Alright. Sure, let's add a source just called browser. I'll add this image, and it'll be way too small. Then we'll do this. This. And we'll make it bigger. That didn't work. Width probably needs to be about 400. Alright, 1000. Oh, that just broke everything. Hang on. There we go. That's better. Let's just put it over the top of my face. There we go. Oh, that didn't hide any better. Whatever. So these are all old stills from the anime Akagi. And if you have a look, right in that second panel, Ahsoka is confused. Also, I love all these images. You go, what the hell is going on? Ahsoka is confused. I'm watching from behind Akagi, and I still don't understand what's going on. And no one knows what Akagi is doing. Sums up the show pretty well. Anyway, it's got nothing to do with what the hell's going on this evening. But I'm vamping for time. Wait, hang on. If I'm vamping for time, hold up. There we go. Now I'm definitely vamping for time. Yeah, Toph, you're like... Okay, hang on. Hold on a second. Hang on. Hello, everybody. Welcome. That's the loading screen. I was gonna say just make a terrible joke, but that works. It does work. Speaking of terrible jokes, I'm just gonna tell everyone the one I told you earlier. I have literally been waiting to see if more people showed up that were like, what the hell is a video game book club? And like, nobody's here. So I guess everyone's going to miss the explanation. They're going to come along partway through and they're going to have no idea what's going on. But before that, the terrible joke that I told Axie earlier. What do you call an Irishman that spends all their time outside? Patio furniture. Good night, everybody. No. Yeah, let me put it. Whoops, I put it. You get the point. That's supposed to be an R, not a second T. I can't type. Don't mind me. All right, moving on. Yeah, patio furniture. Terrible joke. Terrible. Yeah, boo this man. Exactly. All right, cool. You know what? We've waited 10 minutes. Nobody else has bothered to show up. So everyone else is going to miss out on the explanation of what's going on. That's their fault. They didn't show up on time or even 10 minutes late when I waited. Yeah, I deserved that. I deserved that. I waited. I was like, people were curious. I will wait. And then people still did. Anyway, whatever. So welcome everybody to the video game book club. You might be wondering, what the fuck is a video game book club? Obviously, I mean, that's what everyone's been asking like all week. So what this is this is a stream. I've got a few different games to show off. I'm not going to show you necessarily much of any of them. I'm going to finish 2 tonight out of the 4 that I have planned. But I wanted to come along. I didn't have a good way of really like talking about these games and playing through them because none of them are particularly good stream content, shall we say. They'll be interesting enough for what we're going to do tonight. But I wanted to sort of do some stuff where we can do a bit of critical literature around like games and stuff like that, and specific aspects of games. I'm going to take some suggestions in the Discord after the stream. But the idea is to sort of run this maybe once a month, maybe less frequently, depending on how interested people are in it. And I'm going to show you some games. I'm going to recommend one of them to everyone that's here. And I'd like for you to go away and play it yourself and come back and we can have a chat about it in about a month's time. And I want to give you guys a month because these games deserve to be experienced at their own pace and all the rest of it. And then we're going to have a video game book club, right? So this is the entire idea. But like I said, these games aren't necessarily great stream content. Otherwise, I'd just stream them and I'd just be like, right, you know, you guys can come along and just watch the games and all the rest of it. So yeah, that's the idea. So it's gonna be good fun. But tonight's theme for games is we're going to talk about puzzle games specifically and the purpose of story in puzzle games. So we're going to start off with a game that has, to my mind, ostensibly no story for a puzzle game, one that has an interesting story, and we're going to finish with one which I'm going to play through the whole entire game because it's quite short. That is pretty much all story, and then we're going to talk about the one that's all story, and I'm going to break down some of the story elements stuff from it because it's a game that I really like, and I've done a lot of reading and stuff around different aspects of it. And I'll also reveal some interesting little facts about it at the end that you probably won't know about this game because most people have not heard of it before at all. Also, I'm still upside down. That redeem should have ended by now, I would have thought. But anyway, I need to check what's going on. My Steam Deck crash? No. Okay. It's just being weird. Steam Deck. Stream Deck. I'm really bad at words. Anyway. Right way up. Alright, let's go get this first game started. Alright. I completely forgot to set up OBS to stream the right game, didn't I? There's nothing there. Anyway, let me just load the game up, and then I will go ahead and get the capture running as the game starts. There we go. Alright. So, You don't know this game from this image. I will tell you which game it is in a second, but I want to see if anyone actually knows this game just from the start. This is brand new right at the start of the game, so some people might know it. Portal 3, god damn it. Axie. Bro. Ow. Okay, bye, everybody. Also, hi, Verdi. Hope you're having fun recording your podcast. Anyway, so, in case you don't know this game just from this, no recording nights, you're accosting me. Oh, okay. Anyone know which game this is yet? Nabacula Drop 2. Yes, you broke it. Maybe. Oh, you did actually break it a little bit there, yeah. Am I gonna come back sideways? No, I'm okay, I'm good. I'm good. Making no sound, so he broke it good. He did break it real good because it made no sound. So for anyone who doesn't know this game, this is a game called The Witness. And like I said, this game has basically no story, right? Like, look at this. You come in, you see the first puzzle, and it's pretty simple. This game doesn't really tell you anything. This game is hard. This game is bad, Toph. I've finished this game twice. It's horrible. But the whole entire point of this game... I have a reason for playing this game. The whole entire reason I'm showing off this game, and the whole entire point of this game is... This is a bad example of how to do puzzle games, in my opinion, because a huge part of this is, right, is like you come up, you see these line puzzles, you've seen the first couple, and you come up to this one, you're like, well, how do you solve it? Obviously, these circles are always where you start. If you try and click anywhere else in the puzzle, it does nothing. And there's usually like a little flashing light at the tail end. You'll see it in a second when I click on it. That shows you where the line's supposed to go. And every time you finish it, like, lights up on these things and illuminates stuff, and it shows you different things. And you go around, you solve puzzles, and this seems fine so far. One of the selling points of this game on the Steam page is that it has over 500 puzzles. And as I've seen a few people say about it, how do they keep line puzzles interesting for 500 puzzles in this game, you might be asking yourself. Spoilers, they don't. This game is not very good. I have like 20-ish hours in this game. It's do one puzzle 500 times. Close enough. I mean, look, so you get some variations, like this one, you've got two different starting points. You notice that the left one can't actually get to the end there at all. So you have to go down the right-hand path. That's the only one that'll get there. And so they make some variations. I'll show you some more of it when we get there as well. Because it does... It's not all this. I've got a point to make here. But a large portion of this game is doing the same thing. So like this one is... Okay, now there's two... finish lines, but you can't get to the bottom one, you can't get to the top one, so that's fine. But if you go to the top, well, actually you can't get to both in this one, I lied. If you go to the top one, it takes you a specific direction, which doesn't open up that gate, which is what we're trying to get to, it takes you up somewhere else. The bottom one does actually connect you up to the end of the puzzle over there. How do we get to that bottom one again? Yeah, I have to go the same way, that's what I thought. DLC 2 came some rope, but I am experiencing fear. So remember when I said this game has no story? I will show you shortly what passes for story in this game. Ow. Where is it? Is it... No, it's not here. I thought it was up on top of that. The right redeem, at least. It's true. It is true. It's definitely the right redeem. But anyway, yeah, so... Incredibly straightforward. There we go. We're done. So this is where the game actually opens up. So we're doing line puzzles, right? And this is a big problem I have with this game. So you get to this point, there's a route that goes over that way, there's a route that goes over this way, and you can see lots of different stuff and all the rest of it, and there's a town over there, and there's a door there, and you come up to this door, like, this is one of the first puzzles you can see. Look at this, right? Look at how much more complicated this puzzle is. And so you might be thinking to yourself, how the fuck do you solve this? Well, good question. You're not supposed to yet, but the game doesn't tell you that, because this game has, like, very little direction. It's the same as if you, like, come over here and look at this puzzle, right? It's like, you know, how do you solve this one? Or, you know, how do you solve That one over there. But the thing is, this is how the game teaches you how these puzzles work, right? So, like, this is a tutorial, which is why, whoops, there's multiple of these screens in a row. So it's like, there's a black square and a white square, start and finish. And you go, okay, drop it in the start and the finish. Okay, I separated the black and the white. Let's do that again. Okay, so the solution is white and black have to be on separate sides of the line. And it's all of them at once, sort of thing. So, you know, you have to get creative and draw certain shapes and stuff like that. And you can see, like, I've done this a few times before. There we go. That's the solution for that one. And then how does this work? Well, this is where the game starts getting a little, like, rude. So the solution to this one is this, because if you have a look, all of the black dots are inside of the line on one side, and all the white dots are on the opposite side of the line, despite the fact that there's 4 of them down the bottom and 1 up the top. This is actually the solution. Anyway. I'm not going to play this very long, so I'm not going to even bother finishing that tutorial. But there's a little interesting thing this game does. Every time you finish, like, a section, and there's a bunch of different sections, like the town's one, there's an orchard over there, there's an ocean section, and stuff like that. Eventually, when you solve a whole bunch of these, and I'm sprinting, this game is, like, slow. This is your normal movement speed, right? Another thing this game says on its Steam store page is, it's a game that respects its intelligent players' time. Yeah, I don't think so. I'll explain in more detail why I don't think so shortly, because there is a very egregious part of this game, if you want to see, like, the true ending of it, that really shits on the player's time. But eventually, once you get enough of these lasers, so there's different puzzles. You can see, like, one of the yellow boxes up at the top of that tower there. That'll shoot a laser that goes up to the top of this mountain. That's where the final puzzle is. The game doesn't tell you this, but you only need 7 lasers to actually open this this final section inside the mountain. If you get all 11 from all of the different areas, it unlocks an additional puzzle in the mountain. That if you don't know it's an additional puzzle, you'll think it's the actual way you're supposed to go. And the downside to that is this the way up the mountain? Oh, I think it's around further. I forget now. Yeah, the downside to that is if you don't know that it's not actually the way to the end of the game, what you'll end up doing is you'll end up doing what I do, and there's a puzzle at the bottom after you've gotten all 11 lasers on. That is this ridiculously timed puzzle to the song The Hall of the Mountain King, which I really dislike that song now, unsurprisingly, after experiencing it through this game repeatedly, where it basically just throws a random assortment of puzzles at you, and there is no walkthrough. Like, if you get stuck and you go, I'm going to go look up the solution to this, like you might do with some of the puzzles and all the rest of it, the game just goes, well, too fucking bad. It actually picks a random set of puzzles and just throws them at you. And so the problem with that is that you have to, like, think on the fly and remember all the different rules this game throws at you. And when I say all the different rules, this section over here with these flowers, there's a whole puzzle section of this that involves polarizing light filters over the line puzzles that directs which direction you can go through. There's a section that has speakers where it plays bird singing tones and stuff like that. And the bird's, like, pitch controls whether or not you go up or down the puzzle. There's a section that relies on environmental shadows. There's a section that relies on environmental light. There's the white and black squares that I showed you, and so on and so forth, and all the rest of it. Anyway, so, Ibaka, the point I wanted to make about this entire game, which will lead into the next game, which is why I wanted to make it while we've been in this game for a while, despite the fact I'm kind of shitting on it. There's a puzzle under these guys' feet, which is the final puzzle that gets you in the mountain. But the first time you sort of come up here, and this is sort of the experience you have as a player the first time, you get a laser, it comes up, it unlocks one of these locks, which is how you know it's 7, if you ever actually come up here before you get all of them turned on to unlock this final puzzle, is you come up here and you look out and you look over this island, and this game is beautiful, right? Like, the environment is gorgeous and all the rest of it. But you see this line puzzle, and you're like, and it does nothing. It literally does nothing. It doesn't matter if I'd played the rest of the game, if I'd done absolutely everything, if I'd unlocked the mountain, gone down. If you finish the game, it resets the entire thing. But you do this line puzzle and it does nothing. And so you might try it again. It does absolutely nothing. What this puzzle is supposed to show you, and I didn't know this the first time I played through it, it took someone pointing it out to me, is if you walk a little bit to the side, you notice that river's in the same shape as that puzzle. There we go. Get it framed up nicely. Look at that. And the way that this works is this game, and for anyone who hasn't seen this game before, this is supposed to be like a big oh shit moment, is full of, oh, pull me over, these which are these massive environmental puzzles. This one's the only one that represents like anything else that's on the map. And when you solve them, these little pieces of light fly out, and if you watch, they go into these obelisks. And the whole entire point of this game, there's 3 different endings. That's the way down again. One of them is you get at the top of the mountain and you solve the regular puzzle, and there's like an elevator you go through, and it resets the entire island. It does a big flyover, and it shows you all the puzzles, and it's like, wow, look at this experience you had, and all the rest of it. This is where the there's a whole area actually in the mountain. I forgot about this. And it flies you around the whole entire thing, and it takes you over like the colorful swamp and everything, and shows off how cool the mountain is and the whole entire island is and everything. Are you saying bro because you hadn't seen the environmental puzzles before, Toph? He said this game's really hard. I wasn't sure if he'd seen the environmental puzzles or not. And you have, okay. I wasn't sure if anyone else had played this game before. We're trying to be fun. It was funny. I thought for a second there that you might not have seen it. It's so bad. This game is actually not very fun, all things considered. Right. So I'm respecting the player's time. I'm coming back to my point on that one. I'm just trying to remind myself what I wanted to talk about. I've got like an idea in my head of things I need to cover. Once I set of puzzles up there. There's so many fucking puzzles in this game, I swear. Anyway, one of the obelisks over here. I thought one of them was in the town. Oh, there's one. That's the one I was looking for. But yeah, every time you finish an environmental puzzle, it lights up part of these obelisks. And there's 6 of them all across the entire island. I'll show you this one over here. Just so you get an idea of just how many environmental puzzles there are. Like, these obelisks fill up, right? Puzzle game for puzzle gamers. Oh, no, I completely understand where you're coming from. West. I like puzzle games. I hate this game. So that just... We'll give you an idea. Like I said, I'm actually be playing like all puzzle games tonight. So yeah, you finish these obelisks, you go around, you look for these environmental puzzles. I'll show off like a few more examples so you get an idea of what I'm talking about. And then I'll finish making my point, and then I'll be able to move on to the next game. I have to make sure I establish a whole bunch with this one, otherwise the next one won't make sense. But yeah, like, so this game sends you all over the place. It tries to teach you what you're doing. It takes you through these tutorials. Some of the tutorials are dense as fuck. Some of the puzzles you look at and you're like, I don't understand this, and things like that. And some of the environmental puzzles only work if you're looking at them from certain angles, or if you're doing certain things at certain times. So a good example, I walked over here before. You might have seen this one, right here along the river. Bam, there's one. And you might look and see this one over here, and see this orange one, and be like, hang on a second, this one doesn't work. It doesn't do anything. There's some orange boxes inside there. You have to fill this one entirely up with the orange to make it work, which means it only works from a certain angle, which is out there on the water, which there's a boat on the other side of the island, which you can ride around the entire island to different stops. That boy there is one of the stops. But that puzzle over here only works if you start it at a very specific time as the boat is sailing past, and hold it, and as you like go on the boat to the stop, the puzzle will drag along and complete and give you the opportunity to complete it, which doesn't sound that bad. There is, in the mountain up there where I was before, that room I went into, no, it's not the mountain, it's underneath the town. There's an underground cinema. And when you get around to a bunch of these different areas, there's occasionally a puzzle at the end of each one. There's one out in the back of this shed out here that you open up like a box that you find, and inside of it there's like a puzzle solution. And if you go to the underground cinema underneath the town, there's a diagram in there that has no puzzle. But if you draw the puzzle solutions you find from the 6 different locations over the island into it, it plays a video. And like I said, this game has no story, but there's all these recordings. I was trying to find one, but I can't remember what any of them are off the top of my head. I remember there was one in the starting area, but I couldn't see it. There's like these little voice recorders, and when you find them and play them, they play like these quotes. They're not recorded for this game. They're like by great philosophers or scientists, or in some cases religious leaders and stuff like that. And they talk about the nature of self-discovery and philosophy and seeing beyond what things might be, and you know, believing in yourself and all this stuff. It's a lot of philosophical stuff. And they're reasonably short, and you solve the puzzles as you listen to them, and it's, you know, it's reasonably okay. But when you're going down into this this underground movie theater, it plays these videos. There's no way really to skip through some of them, and there's like a lecture from Richard Feynman, and there's some cult leader guy who's like a fucking idiot. He's like I watched it and I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And when I say cult leader, I mean like he literally started a cult. So, you know, not like a religious leader, a cult leader. It's like, okay. And all the rest of it. But if you look around the room while you're down there, these videos have links to more environmental puzzles around the room and stuff like that, including a 56-minute long video, which is quite fascinating, that's about the secret behind Psalm 46. And at the start of the video, it starts showing a lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipse? No, solar eclipse. And you have to click on the moon to start this puzzle. And then when it gets to a certain part, use some environment parts of the room, and then wait 56 minutes for the video to get to the end, for the lunar eclipse to go to the other side of the screen and go completely black to be the tail end of the puzzle you're drawing. So you have to sit there and wait for 56 minutes to solve one puzzle to get the true ending of this game. And if that's not respecting the player's time, I don't know what the fuck is, right? And it's like, oh, it respects your time. I'm like, I don't think it does. Anyway, the stupidest part about this entire game is you see all these environmental puzzles and stuff like that. And that's one there. I'm just on the wrong angle for it, I think. Oh, yeah, because it's not painted properly. Yeah, I'm on the wrong angle. It'll be a different angle for that one. But the actual true ending of this game is available right at the very beginning. And if you've actually left that starting area, I won't tell you how to get it. So anyone wants to play this game for themselves, they can. I know I'm saying it's bad, but I don't want to like say don't play it. Like if this game looks interesting to you and you want to play it, go nuts. But if you have played this game and you have opened this gate here, right here that I'm walking through, right at the start of the game, you have missed the true ending of the game. You can't get it anymore. So on this save file right now, I can't get the true ending of the game anymore because that gate's not closed, which is dumb. But that's just how this game is. So yeah, that's the witness. If anyone has any questions about it, I'm happy to answer them. But the reason why I went through that and talked about this in a game that has no real story and all the rest of it is a lot of people were kind of annoyed by the witness and the fact that it's kind of just a puzzle game that a lot of people just don't particularly want to engage with. They found it kind of annoying and all the rest of it. And so in response, someone made this. This is one of the two games we're going to finish tonight. This is a game called The Looker. This game is free on Steam. So if this game looks interesting to you, feel free to go grab it for yourself, but I'm going to show off the entire game. So up to you if you want to watch this and all the rest of it. I love these tips. Press the double Arabian front flip button to perform a double Arabian front flip. Not in the game. Not at all. There was one there like to talk about glory kills. If you can't solve a puzzle, be smarter and try again. Anyway. So this is The Looker. So like I said, free on Steam. I enjoyed this game. I only heard about this game very recently, and I was like, this is great. So this might look familiar from the last game. Look, those controls might even look familiar and all the rest of it. So let's go and check out what's at the end of this door. That's the way. Oh, hey, look. What happens if we click on this, like the line puzzle at the start of The Witness? Oh, hey, we got a pen. Hey, that worked. What about this one? Man, these line puzzles are hard, am I right? I love game parodies. I especially love this one. This one's great. So that this game is clearly a parody of The Witness, as you can probably tell. Hope you like mazes, because we got ourselves a maze game here, folks. No idea this was a game parody. It's so good. Like, it cracks me the hell up, to be honest. My favorite part is, look, there's the same sort of gate. And also, if we go over here, we've got the hint system. You ready?
You can do it. I believe in you. This is all you. Yeah, keep trying. Yeah, there's a trick to it, but you've got it. Yeah, maybe you can do it.
Anyway, Also, my favorite part is the hidden hint button that's around this corner in the trash.
Go on, get. Don't look at me. Can you hear me? I'm nothing but a rusty chunk of steel. You don't want nothing to do with me. All right, all right. I'll tell you my story. It was June the 8th, 1947, gray morning, slightly foggy. I had my own practice then, and I was living higher than a cosmonaut on a stepladder. My hints were subtle, too, real subtle. Back then, they said good old hint button. His hints could steal the tail off a weasel. Then they tossed me in the can. Know what, know why, know how. Those were the mean times, when all the common sense in the world won't make a nickel to buy you a black coffee. I used rope to tie my pants and pants to tie my shoes. I made do the way a man does, till one day, after stealing the socks off a fireplace, I caught my own look in a puddle of bootleg rye and realized I had to do what I'd never done before. I gave myself a hint. So that's me. I was nothing but a downtown crumb who dreamed of being a whole sandwich. Now I'm just another sloppy Joe. Come back when you got something.
Do you like the hint button? He's got some more stuff. He's got like a whole bunch of stories, but yeah. So this game is literally just a parody. And like I said about like the inspirational quotes in the other game, they're here too. You ready?
Through many births, I have wandered on and on, searching for, never finding, a better deal than 0% APR on certified pre-owned vehicles. For trucks tougher than a drunk Marine, come to Mike's Pre-Owned, where we do the things that get things done.
God, I love that one. So I wanted to show off at least that one. Also, I love this puzzle where the purple side, the green lines don't count, which is why you can draw through the green on this side, so you can just cheat. Or even better, this one, where the actual solution is to just go around the maze. There's actually no way through that one. Well, there's this one. Anyone want to hazard a guess how you solve this one? Because the walls actually block you. You can't get through it. I can color this entire panel full of red, and trust me, this is actually a solution for one of the puzzles later. Won't do anything. Anyone got any ideas? No, I think I might go ask the hint button. Go outside? No, doesn't work. Infinity loop? Doesn't work.
Come back when you got a good one. I'll tell you this. When life hauls off and hits me square in the speaker, I don't get mad and I don't give up. Over many nights of thinking hard and drinking hard, up till the morning lighting one cup of Joe with the smoldering butt of the last slug of rum. This is what I learned. When you're up against the impossible and there's no getting through it, you might just have to go around it. Get a look at the back of the box, if you get me. Read the nutrition facts, if you follow.
That is actually the solution to this puzzle, by the way. That's why I wanted to show that off. Like, quite literally. Let's check the back of the box. Huh. That cable says start on it. I wonder. I love that solution. It's so stupid. Well, this one we can't go around, so now we gotta actually find our way through. I think the way I did this last time was I just started drawing from the end. In fairness, I did draw outside, yeah. The mouse control in this game leaves a lot to be desired at some points. I like this one. You ready?
Beep. 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 You're right there. I mean, beep. 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 Come on, beep. 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 Yes, beep. Beep. Yes.
Yeah, do you like that one? You have to listen to the narrator telling you where to go. This game is incredible. Compare this to the last game, The Witness, right? This one's also a hint for a later puzzle. You might notice that it doesn't say start and end. It says S and E. Not sure if it's a puzzle or a comedy game. It's both. Anyway. Last game was taking itself way too seriously. Oh, it was. So yeah, that S and E, like, if you notice, we've gotten one of these cables. Let's come in here and lit this up. We need 2 more to get to this final puzzle solution. Might notice one of them goes all the way. Oh, can't jump over that one. All the way over to here. So we'll go and solve these ones. While we're doing that, let's enjoy another.
Kubla Khan received an ornate letter signed by Marco Polo. In Madrid, city of lost things, no item remains where it was set. If one drops his key in the dirt, he may never re-enter his home, and even if he manages to stoop and recover the key, he may rise to find a tulip garden where his house once stood. In complementary fashion, things lost by others are forever turning up. A pocket watch on a coffee table, a fond memory in your recollection. I even know of a prince who turned up in a prison cell. When he appealed to the guards for his release, he failed to find the crown on his head, and when he was asked his name, he searched his thoughts, but could not find it. Indeed, the only hope now for the release of this prince of Spain is for you to send back 300 ducats for his release. Of course, he will reward you handsomely once he is out. Yours truly, Marco. Kubla Khan cocked an eyebrow and declared before his court, "Hey everyone, looks like we're about to get ripped off by the guy who traded gold for paper." The court erupted in booming laughter. Italo Calvino, Invisible Cities 2, this time it's visible.
Do you like the fake out that it's not even like a real scam letter? It's actually a reference to a scam letter in a play. Oh, I love it. All right. So like I said, that last puzzle was a hint to the solution to another puzzle. Because this one says stop, do not come in. Thank you for your understanding. But we can draw on here, right? The solution is the last one started with an S, and ended with an E. Let me in. Damn it. Well, doesn't want to work. We're just going to scribble all over it. There we go. Good puzzle solution. Also, we can't go this way. There's a suit of armor. There's also a creepy TV down here. So, why are we drawing in blood all of a sudden? The armor's gone? Alright, well, I guess we're gonna find out what happened down this way. Okay. Oh, there's a ghost. Well, we got a shotgun now, it's fine, don't worry about it. We can deal with ghosts. Their shotgun. A bunch of books. It's fine. Oh, so the mom's in a painting, that's okay. Okay, what's down this way? Let's see. What's the shotgun gonna do to a ghost? I don't know, man. This is a survival horror game now. I don't know what you're talking about. I'll wait for Kai to stop hitting me for a second here. Hi, Kai. Anyway. Ah! God damn it. That was expensive. It said don't scratch it, and I think we scratched it. Anyway. Ready for my favorite puzzle solution in the game? How do you draw a line puzzle on a target? Anyone got any guesses how we draw a line puzzle on a crosshair? Damn right we do. I love this game. All right, you ready? Who's ever been to art class?
That's very original. It just needs more red, I think.
More red? Okay.
No, try putting some more loops on it.
Okay, loops.
It simply must have more loops.
Okay, 2's not enough loops. How about 3 loops?
This isn't the MoMA. We can afford more loops.
Okay, more loops? Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I can tell you're trying to say something about capitalism, but do it with more loops.
Okay, more loops. Right, I gotcha. 5 loops?
Not having loops is very outdated.
Okay, not having loops outdated. Okay, more loops. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That enough loops?
I like it, but it's also kind of too red.
2 red, okay.
You need more loops.
Okay, more loops. Okay, so not too much space used because it's too red, but we still need more loops. Let's there we go. Okay, we got there. We matched the brief, everybody. It's fine. Don't worry. I will say that puzzle, the first time I played through this game, took fucking ages. I actually overflowed that waste paper bin. Like, there is actually a solution you are supposed to do just the right amount of ink and just the right amount of loops. It's actually insane. All right.
Imagine gravity is fractal, because light is just a wave and gravity is just a wave. So imagine there's a big piece of glass that splits up gravity like a prism, so that there's like blue gravity and yellow gravity, and then somebody gets hit by the red gravity. And it makes them super heavy, so they have super strength, but like they're also really slow. And another guy gets hit by microwave gravity, so he's trying to zap everybody, and just when he's about to zap the main guy, you see a lady come out, and she turns out to be Ultraviolet Girl, and she has super speed, so she beats him. And it, like, also gave her giant cans.
What?
Thomas Pynchon, Gravity's Rainbow.
Okay. Sure thing, buddy. Hey, are you ready for one of my favorite jokes in the entire game? So, we got a telescope. There's the sun. What happens if we look through the telescope, everybody?
Oh, God. Why did I do that? Oh.
I love it. It's so good. Why did I do that? There's an achievement for that too. It's called Blind. It's great. Anyway, so S2. Oh, no. S2 end and start E. Also, we can play a game of chess. You ready? Here's how you play chess.
You can only get good at chess if you love the game. Grandmaster Bobby Fischer. I hate chess. I hate chess. I hate chess. World champion Bobby Fischer.
There you go. He hates chess. Oh. Well, while we're up here, before I go and play some more chess, who wants to be a pirate? Because, I hope you're not on this boat. Because now you're dead. Or I hope you weren't planning to use this boat. Because you're also dead. I might be thinking to yourself, what about that boat all the way at the back there? It'd also be a bad idea to be on that boat. For anyone else, this is actually a puzzle solution in this game, is to bomb all the boats. Superliminal levels of perspective manipulation. Well, we haven't gotten to the best joke this game pulls off yet. We kill all the boats. No more pirates. That's good. We're gonna go play some chess. Alright. Let's play some chess for real, alright? So, start to end. Start to end. And start to end. There we go. Let's make those moves. So, the knight goes there. And then that one. And checkmate. Alright, good. We played some chess. Okay, nothing there to be solved. We can't get in that one. Oh, there's a cable for that door. Let's go get this door open. That door's closed. That's no good. Let me open that one again. All right. Puzzle down this way. The ship's reset. I think a couple of them did. Oh, I guess better go and kill them then.
A ship owner was about to send to sea a venerable old ship. He knew that her barnacled hull, however, had often needed repairs, and doubts were suggested to him that possibly she was not seaworthy. The conscientious old captain thought at once to have her thoroughly refitted, even though it should put him at great expense. Before the ship sailed, however, he managed to stifle these bothersome misgivings, and said to himself that she had gone safely through so many voyages that it was idle to suppose that this trip should be any different. He put his trust in Providence, and banished from his mind all ungenerous suspicions about the honesty of the ship's builders, and in such ways he acquired a sincere and comfortable conviction that his vessel was altogether safe and seaworthy.
I might have missed.
He watched her departure with a light heart, encouraging the crew to dream of the profits that this voyage would return. And he got his insurance money when she went down in mid-ocean and told no tales. What shall we say of him? Surely this, that his belief in the safety of his ship was justified because it was grounded in repeated practical experimentation rather than the hubris of rationalistic a priori belief. It is admitted that he put his confidence in the builders of this vessel, but even this confidence was misplaced, for these were the selfsame charlatans who sought to sell him gratuitous repairs later on, and Big Ship is always trying to get one over on the little guy. Further, we may see that the ship is religion, and the shipwright is Richard Dawkins. The crewmates are empiricism, and the barnacles are Neoplatonism, and the captain of that ship was Albert Einstein. What the hell was I talking about?
I don't know, man. You tell me. Okay, good. I hit that one finally. The best part is that recording where he's talking about the ships and it's a whole bunch of bullshit. There's a recording in the actual Witness game where it's like, oh yeah, a dude was like, had a ship and was going to send people out on it, and he wasn't sure whether or not it was safe, and didn't decide to do the maintenance on it, and the ship went down and everybody died. Wow, what an asshole, basically, is the thing. It's like a moral story sort of thing, and it's like, wait, what? Anyway, I could draw on the screen a bunch. There we go. Turn on the snack machine. It's time to play some snack. And yes, this is a mandatory puzzle you need to solve in this game. Which is why I'm drawing this in a very specific fashion, to give myself as much room as possible to try and solve this. Damn it. Anyway. Just taking your old Nokia brick cell phone. I swear everyone of the right age remembers the old Nokia 3310s and playing way too much Snake on it. Anyone? Anyone else want to admit to being old live on stream? Not today? Fair enough. It was 12 notes. Who else remembers looking up how to make certain songs on websites and programming your own ringtones? You kids these days with your MP3s as ringtones, I tell ya. There we go. And now we all feel old. Good times. Good times. Anyway, it's time to play some games. You ready? Or even better, so I didn't mention this when we played The Witness because I knew this joke was coming up. This is going to be good fun. The guy who made The Witness is a guy by the name of Jonathan Blow. A lot of people gave him a lot of like leeway with The Witness because he made a really great game called Braid. This game has a joke about that in it, where they have a game called Ponytail. Thanks a lot, Mac Edition. And the best part is you can scribble all over the top of it. You ready? And it rewinds time, just like in Braid. Oh, yeah. You haven't even seen the best joke yet. I like all the drinks in here. Okay, it's ready to... It's time to start the game. It's FPS time, everybody. Let's go. I'm the best at shooter games. I'm not Diamond and Apex for nothing. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Oh yeah, 300 points. We're gonna set the new high score. Okay, game series. Point Blank, it's so good. Damn it. Oh man, 25 points short of getting the achievement. Anyway, hey, we played enough. The door opened. Remember how I was talking about those boxes that shoot lasers that unlock extra parts of the game? This is actually the solution to this puzzle. You can't just draw it. You have to actually charge up the box with enough energy that it actually brings the laser out. Otherwise, this doesn't work. But I love this. So the little thing comes out. You're like, okay, yep, it's all spilling up. Now the laser's going to fire. It's going to fire at that solar panel over there. Nah. That'd be too simple for this game. Oh, there's the laser. Okay. Oh, there we go. Oh, too low. Alright, refocusing. Come on. Wait, what's that coming out the front of the laser? Oh, they're gonna aim it up with a mirror. Okay. Ah, shit. Too far. Alright, I guess we're gonna need another mirror to, like, refocus it, right? Get it on the right angle? Yeah, okay. Alright. we're gonna need some more mirrors here. All right, let's get this. Yep, there we go. All right, just gonna get it on target, right? Oh, come on. Okay. Wait, what's going on here? Oh. There we go. Oh, this fucking game, I swear to God. Anyway. Alright, let's get the other shortcut unlocked here. There we go. Alright. So now we've got pretty much everything done. Only got a couple more puzzles to do. There is like a whole section that's supposed to show you where the solution is for this next part. I'm not necessarily going to bother with it because it takes a long time, but we're going to do this one because this unlocks the box. You ready? So this is the box which we're getting all these lasers for. So there's a key down here. Hey, the box is opening. You might be wondering what's in the box. What's in the box? Oh, we're about to find out. I love this. Ready? One of my favorite puzzles in the game. It's really hard. It's like a really difficult maze. You ready? Who's ready for the kids menu, folks? It's Salty Captain Sammy's kids menu. I mean, it's still got a maze on it. You know what? If we're still solving mazes at this point, we've got to keep solving them, right? So those lines aren't so hot. There we go. And that allows us to unlock this laser gate. And that's gonna unlock the laser gate. The maze is actually a legitimate maze out there. There's a whole set of puzzles in it, which I don't care to go and solve because they're annoying and they take a long time. But they give you the solution to the final puzzle, which now that the laser's on, we can actually go and do. And then we can see the ending of the game, because after we do the final puzzle, there's just one more puzzle left to solve. So here's the second last puzzle, the actual final like line puzzle. Let me just pull up the solution as long as I couldn't remember it, because it's kind of tricky. So I need to go start and out, down the back. Up through the moon. It's moon, arrow. That's the flower. Hourglass. Arrowhead. My lines must have cut corners somewhere. Oh, there it is. Damn it. Ah. It is moon. Oh, right. I messed it up completely. Hang on. I missed an entire symbol. Add and flower. Hourglass. Yellow arrowhead. Arrowhead, sorry. That one. There we go. Alright. Hey, remember how I mentioned environmental puzzles? So, you may have noticed this game didn't make fun of the environmental puzzles at all yet. So, you might notice we've got an S down there and we've got an E. So now we just got to draw a puzzle between... Actually, I have to use the square. I do. Between the S and the E. Ready? So we can go across these paths here. So we can go down here and we can go across here and around. We can go across the white. We can't use any of the black. And we'll go up and across the grass and around. We can go down across the grass and up around here and up this wall to the end. Where did I break my line? Oh, here, across the grass. Oh, look.
The obelisk of knowledge. The obelisk of knowledge. Still on Wixel light. What's the...
Stones of reflection.
Oh, wait, it's a giant cop.
Yup. This entire game builds to a dick joke. Oh, shit. Ah. What a good game. Anyway. So. That's the looker. As you can see, it kind of really lampooned the witness. All you can say is ouch. Oh no, 100%. And the tale of the rusty hint button. Final boss puzzle game. Yeah, it really is. But yes. This game is free. So if you wish to show other people that you know this, you can provide some context about the witness. You don't actually have to play it like I did, but yeah. So for two games with a lack of quote-unquote story as far as puzzle games go, you can kind of see which one of them ended up being more enjoyable overall. I know I didn't play much of The Witness, but people here have played it and all the rest of it, and you can kind of get an idea. If you want to play The Witness, as Quest said, it's not particularly cheap, but you know, feel free to go ahead. But the next game, before we move on to our final game of the night, and I'll do some critical. I love this part.
Oh, jeez, dude, I was in a coma the whole time. Whoever did this has got to be some kind of whiz with the computers. Good stack of pennies. I would never hurt you. Let's see. Easy one.
The same setup as chessboard in the game.
Nerd shit. Nerd shit. Now that's a book.
This is actually referencing the true ending in The Witness.
For retirement.
And the game just closes itself right there. Yeah, it's referencing the true ending of The Witness. If you want to find out how the reference is funny, you should go and look it up. But anyway, now we're going to go on to, like I said, a game with a bit more story, which is still a puzzle game. This is the one I recommend that I'm not going to play much of. I'll show off some of the start of it, see if you get interested in it. Like I said, in The Witness, I got like about 20 hours. This I have about 30 hours, and I still haven't finished everything in it. But let's get this game launched, and then I will throw it up in the capture. Someone's got me on Steam as a friend. They can see which game I'm launching. Published by Devolver Digital. That was a guess. Wow. Okay. It is the Talos Principle. This is the game I recommend that you pick up. Because this game is great, and this is the one I want to talk about in a month's time. So if anyone missed it for Video Game Book Club, I'm going to show you off some games and recommend you pick up one of them, and we can come back in about a month's time and talk about it. So this is a really, really good game. I'm going to start with just the Talos Principle. I'm going to go new game. I've finished this game before already, so it doesn't matter if I reset my save. But this is the game that actually has a bit of story to it, which is good for a puzzle game. So here we go. Pretty much Kai Yao. Starting child process. But yeah, this is quite literally a Video Game Book Club. I'm going to recommend games. I'm going to take suggestions for games you'd like to see and stuff like that, or games you might have played, and we'll give everyone a month to sort of play through them. I'll show off a bit of them on stream. Maybe even play through most of them on stream if it's a game that I really enjoy. And show them off. But for some of them, like this one's not particularly good stream content, otherwise I'd stream the entire thing.
Behold, child, you are risen from the dust. and you walk in my garden. Hear now my voice, and know that I am your maker, and I am called Elohim. Seek me in my temple, if you are worthy.
And like I said, this game is light on story compared to The Witness, and you know, but at least there is some motivation for what you're doing. My sensitivity is really high, but initiating child program logic check. So can't go through that barricade. So what we need to do, and this is how this game teaches you puzzles, right? Okay, we got a jammer. So we're able to pick up a jammer, and it actually tells us what it's going to do. It like jams the barrier, and now we can get through. And each one of these purple gates we go through will actually reset everything. So if you watch and we go through this one, we can't take the jammer through it, and it like basically, you know, we'll turn stuff off later. So you got these things, and it's like, okay, so what exactly is this? And if we get too close to it, it kills us, but we've got like instant resets. So, you know, there's consequences to your puzzles. The Witness doesn't have any of those. Not that it necessarily needs them. But all puzzle games need consequences for your actions. We'll see that in the next game as well. But now we can jam the ball. And if we jam the ball, we can get past the ball. And you might notice an annoying red laser above that machine gun, which tells us that's probably not good. So if we grab another jammer, hey, we can jam the machine gun as well. And now we can get through. And you might also notice QR codes. Don't know where I am, but there is something beautiful about this place. I will just see what I explore and see what I can discover. Version 17.1.054. So there's environmental storytelling too. And if you explore, you can find little ways to get back to different areas, like that ladder and stuff. Took us back further if you wanted to. And as you explore, you'll find stuff like there's a gate here. There might be something hidden in there. There's little hidden things as well. There's some hidden stars around in different
this land,
areas.
I have created trials for you to overcome. And within each, I have hidden a sigil.
Those are the stars I was talking
It
about.
is your purpose to seek these sigils, for thus you will serve the generations to come and attain eternal life.
I find myself in a world of impossible architecture and inexplicable machines. I cannot fathom how it works. I am terrified to put one foot in front of the other, lest I fall through the floor. 1W/faith, version 10.1, and then a whole bunch of zeros. Yeah, this game has a whole bunch of puzzles, and so you'll notice, like there's a little T-shaped block in that one. There's an L shape in that one. We need, you know, a line and an L shape. And as we get each of these little sigils, it unlocks these doors. And we can use them to solve the puzzles and complete the locks, and you can reset them. So yeah, we need more sigils to get through the lock. And that's the core concept of this game, is, you know, you go around. I'll show off some more puzzles here, just so you get a feel for it. But a switch out of reach. Each puzzle has like a name, and there'll be a different solution, and there's might be multiple solutions to a puzzle, and there's hidden additional stars like I mentioned and stuff like that. But the whole entire point of this game is to, you know, solve the puzzles, get the sigils, make your way to the temple, and meet Elohim. So, and you can jam from pretty far away, as you'll see here. And the puzzles get very creative, and additional items get added and stuff like that you can mess around with, or you find other ways to deal with these orbs and stuff as well. But that is the point of this game. So, like, for example, we just turn off the power to that gun. So now we can take the jammer, and the gun's powered off. Your entire Arnie's No Thoughts Head Empty also made this. This game is phenomenal, and the fact that it's made by Crow Team just makes it even more interesting. And hey, look, here's our first sigil. So you grab it. Door opens, and we can progress onwards.
The shapes you are collecting are not mere toys. They are the sigils of our name. Each brings you closer to eternity.
And unlike in The Witness, if you're trying to work out all of that, there is actually a achievement for solving every single puzzle in The Witness. This game actually shows you when you've solved an area, so you don't keep like bashing your head against, you know, why can't I get through this or whatever. And if you actually walk through the door into that area when it comes up like outnumbered and the little sigil, it actually show across through it as well. You can see the sigil down there, you can see all this other stuff. Now we gotta work out how to get through this one. So, you know, we can jam this. but then we're stuck dealing with the ball, so that doesn't work. But you might notice, come around this way, they do look like tetrominos as well, yeah. If you come around this way and jam this door, the orb will come through, get stuck on this side, and then we can run past it. And then... ta-da! We solved another puzzle.
Well done, child. Only one more sigil is needed.
What if this kid is collecting the next piece that shows up in your Tetris game? He's not really a kid, but, you know, I get your point. Sometimes there's no jammers, right? So you have to work out a way to get past these orbs on your own. And this one's called Striding the Beaten Path. So, you know, a lot of the puzzle names give you a bit of a idea of the solution. Because if you don't go too close to these things, they won't actually zoom on you and blow you up and kill you. And you just go around the outside. I can get the jammer here. Jam that one. Lock that orb in there. Aha, idiot. We can get our pace.
My temple awaits you, child. Go forth.
Ta-da! Gotta hardcore the witnesses. This is the Talos Principle. And, now we got all the pieces. Oh. That doesn't work. That does. The Talos Principle. T-A-L-O-S. Eyes have been opened. This world is not without order. It is shaped by a great designer with signs and portents to guide my steps. I am one of his children, and challenges are set before me to test my faith. Whatever the end goal of this grand challenge is far out of reach. Knowing that, how are we supposed to resist distraction? You'll need Talos. It's true, we do. So here's the part where you realize that you're not actually just a kid, HJ, like you were saying. Here we have a computer terminal. Hey look, robot hands. And this is where we start seeing some more of the story. So, hello world. Type help for a list of available commands. Hi. Hey Leo, thank you for the resub. 17 months. Alright, we'll go with help. List, open, file name, run MLA, exit. I tried to load the Milton library system before. Let's try run MLA. There we go. Hello guest, how can I help you today? Your query? Do you understand what I'm saying? Understand is a strong way to put it, but yes, your query? Can I figure out a machine for the test? We get to have visual confirmation. Yep. What was the first letter of the last sentence you wrote? I'm sorry, I'm unable to process and respond to basic subject, verb, object syntax. Are you able to take offense, you pointless contraption? You cannot insult me. I love this game's humor. Describe your functions. The library system is designed to primarily sort and classify data in the library archive. Secondarily, it facilitates user interaction with library resources via an intuitive human language interface. It also provides powerful networking and troubleshooting functions. What is the current status of the library archive? 27 million resources in the archive, taking up 5.4212750 petabytes of disk space. That is approximately the size of 30 billion photos, 7 million minutes of HD video, the entire internet in 2003. However, the majority of the library resources are corrupted or invalid. 10.6954751 gigabytes of uncorrupted resources are indexed. How has the system been running? This has been active for 999 to the E years. Yeah, so, you know, there you go. I won't go through all of the options here and all the rest of it. You can see all of the local stuff. You can read text and stuff like that. You know, figure it out, emails. And it tells you more of the story. And whenever you finish an area, you get access to even more areas, which will give us puzzle pieces for later.
Light, child,
but...
and my temple will be revealed to you.
Just give you an idea of how big this game is. If you're interested in playing it, this is Area 1.
You walk now upon the stones of my temple, whence many gates lead. And know that I have other temples, for my garden is greater than your eye can encompass. And all these worlds I made for you.
Got Area 1, those are the puzzle pieces in that. You got Area 2, 4, all the way up to 6. And when you solve all the areas, you'll notice there's all the different puzzle pieces. It actually marks off each one in each world you've solved. That'll take us through this gate here into this elevator. There's some more upstairs as well. And getting the stars and stuff unlocks some additional stuff. So like these down here will give us access to some additional puzzles and objects and things like that you can use to solve puzzles in here. And yeah, you'll see there's all the different puzzles we can solve and what pieces we need for the yellow ones, etc. And eventually you make it to the end, and well, I won't spoil it, but if you're interested in giving it a go and you're coming back to talk about it later, like I said, we'll probably schedule the next video game book club for in about a month's time. So yeah, this is the Talos Principle. It's like I said, very, very fun. It's quite good comparatively to The Witness. So there we go. That's this game. Has anyone got any questions they'd like answered about it or anything like that before we move along to the last game of the evening? So yeah, you can tackle these in whatever order you want. Like you can go in Area 6 like right off the bat, for example.
Let this be our covenant. These worlds are yours, and you are free to walk amongst them and subdue them. But the great tower, there you may not go. For in the day that you do, you shall surely die.
I couldn't remember if he told you about the tower. There you go. There's the idea of the end of this game. But yes, you'll see there's some keys down there. We need to unlock some doors and computer terminal somewhere. That's why it's beeping at me. You can see how like complex these puzzles get, right? But they build up. Like you don't have to necessarily like jump into the really hard stuff right off the bat. Probably your favorite puzzle game of all time, Nay. I agree. It's probably one of my favorite puzzle games ever as well. Yeah, we don't have the that one unlocked yet, so we can't solve these puzzles yet, for example. Yes, this game is incredible. And all the QR codes and stuff give you more of the story as you go along. There's a serpent machine, a creature of lies and blasphemy presented by the archive that knows no hope and will plunge the world into eternal darkness to glorify its own despair. I've sworn an oath to never allow it into my heart. Yeah, the interesting part about this game and everything as well is if you buy the Talos Principle, you'll actually get both the DLC, both Road to Gehenna and Prototype. Road to Gehenna is a very different game, as is Prototype, but there's actually basically 3 whole puzzle games in one game if you pick this game up. But yeah, it's really good. It's incredible. And plus, people have made stuff in the workshop as well, so you can actually... God, there's so many puzzles to solve in this game if you're really interested and invested. But yeah, that's that's the Talos Principle. All right. Let us move on to our last game, which, as I said at the start of the stream, is a game that pretty much nobody I know has played at all. And I say puzzle game, but it's not entirely a puzzle game. And like when I started the stream, I said I wanted to talk about like the place of storytelling in puzzle games and stuff like that. And I said the first one's going to have basically no story, which is The Witness. The second one has a pretty good story. And the last one is almost entirely story. So let's get into this one. Set up the capture. See if this is all capturing. Oh, it crashed on me. And then Avi played Zork. Well, I could have just loaded up a text adventure. That also would have worked, yeah. Zoom beanies. Let me just make sure the video 1912 disabled, overlay top left, advanced options. This is running in the cold source engine. So, you know, it's not particularly graphically intensive. by any stretch. Let's make sure subtitles are on, full captions. Headphones better. Alright. Okay, so this is a game called The Beginner's Guide. I won't spoil one of the really cool things about this game. Don't go and look it up until you've seen the whole thing, so I'm going to play through the whole game. But I won't spoil a couple of really cool things about this game until the end. Not related to actually the story we're going to see in the game, but related to some stuff about its creation and stuff like that, because I'll talk about it at the end. I'll actually do a bit of a breakdown of some of the stuff that happens. But for now, let's get started. Oh yeah. Unless it's got subtitles, you need the audio. That's it. WASD and click. That's all the controls we need for this entire game.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Wreden. I wrote The Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game.
So I'm just going to pause it there for a second. There was a lot of talking from Davey throughout this game, but I found it interesting that despite the number of people that know about the Stanley Parable and have played that, this game is relatively unknown. There's lots of people online that have played it and stuff like that. I've talked to a lot of friends and stuff, but pretty much nobody has played this game that I know of, like I said. So you might find this very interesting if you like the Stanley Parable. It is very kind of a similar sort of vibe to it. So we'll see some more of that as we go along. But we're almost through the sort of initial intro. If you don't hear me talk much because Davey doesn't let me get much in, I'll try and pause occasionally and bring up some interesting points about different parts of the game as we go along.
As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
Alright. What's machine status active? Evacuate immediately.
This game is called Escape from Whisper. and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
Can I get through that way? In shirt. Trying to get out. It says evacuate immediately, so I gotta go and evacuate, right?
Security call reached.
That's his name, Coda.
It kinda looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Enemy force.
So, this is a game called The Beginner's Guide Quest, made by the same guy who's narrating it, Davey Wreden, who made the Stanley Parable. It's about his friend Coda, who made games between 2008 and 2011, and made these little, like, interesting games. Never published them anywhere or anything like that, but Davey's got his hands on them somehow. He's made this collection to try and inspire his friend to start making video games again.
Begin shifted activation.
It's called The Beginner's Guide. But don't look anything up on it because you'll spoil it for yourself. Because I'm going to do the whole game.
Apparently this space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Boop.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Hey.
Look familiar to anybody?
There, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
Open the portal to Zen. That's what I thought when I first played this game.
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
There's the labyrinth, in case you didn't realize there actually was one. He wasn't joking, there it is.
Causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it. Like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Alright. Past was behind her. If you press W, it does nothing. You can't walk forward. But if you look at this sign and press S...
Yep. In this game, you can only walk backwards.
Future
So
could not be
it's a short
seen.
and relatively minimalist experiment
As
combining
future keep
motion
changing.
and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
Stops and looks, it becomes clearer. And the future is always behind her. How will she find the strength to confront it? There was a door there, it's not there
Short little
anymore.
thought, It says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
This game is really good, Nay. That's why I wanted to show this game off. Okay. So, there's the edge of the level. You only see a certain radius around yourself. But now entering...
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting. Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games.
It's a big set of stairs, isn't it?
I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
Alright, let's go up these stairs. Only thing we can do, right? Nonsense in nearly every direction, so let's go up the stairs. Wait, it's slowing down.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
Just in case you're curious, because I did try this once playing through this game, if you don't press enter and you keep crawling up the stairs at this pace, eventually your speed gets so slow that you can't progress up any further. So... walk around talking people down from pursuing their hopes and dreams. Plays a pair of floating eyes emitting a footstep noise. While the queen dusting your jewelry while your kingdom is destroyed. A series of lavish manuals come with the game, giving you incorrect instructions on how to play.
And nice, and filled with little ideas for games.
On a boat taking orders from the captain is always wrong. Must address and rally a group of eager
Coda
press
would often
reporters.
tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person.
What about
But
this one?
It takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
Run a shop inside your own body, selling your organs strategically to make the most money before you die. Game is nothing but giant blocks of text explaining what's happening. Ready, set, fish. Okay, we're in a room, there's a door. Okay. Nothing going on. So this is the get ready part, right?
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
Okay. How do we get through that door? Is there another lever or something? Yeah, this room's just like a box. What if... ah, there we go.
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're gonna
These
see
three
it a lot.
dots. There's in one of the previous games too, the three dots. Right before the end of the game.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve a puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. Alright, now I'm going to modify the game again, so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Alright, you ready? Who's ready to see what's going to happen when we press enter? Because it's pretty interesting. Because when we press enter in this one... holy shit.
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
Kind of crazy. Hey, look, we're back here again. Ready? You are now exiting.
Aha. So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
Seriously, this game is so good. I got a lot to say about it, but I need to wait till the end. Oh, hey, look, it's the house in a featureless white room. I guess we should go into it, right? Oh, what a
Let's
nice
talk
looking
about
building.
video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development.
This is the Streetwise Fall.
To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well.
How do you like this one, eh?
The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
Kind of like the Stanley Parable. Kind of see, like you said, where he got his inspiration from Coda and all the rest of it, right? I'm pretty sure the original Stanley Parable was also in the Source engine. I don't know about the remake Stanley Parable Deluxe, but pretty sure the original one was also Source engine. But this game's called The Great Descent, and there's like a big descent to go down. And eventually we'll get to the bottom. OG was? Yeah, okay, good. I thought so. And we made it to the bottom. There's nothing else here, but little gate opens up to us, and it's a whole bunch of like cattle pens. Bit of a weird game, right? Like we come from like a lovely house down a massive existential corridor to some cattle pens. One of them opens, and ah shit, now we're trapped. Wait, nope. It's an elevator. And now we're in a jail cell.
Funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that. This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
Interesting relationship they've got, right? There's the 3 dots again. Just just pointing them out when we see them. Seems to be like a little like developer mark from Coda. Seems to like putting Coda's a bit of a dick. Hold on to that thought, Quest.
It's the
Ride's
puzzle
still
again,
going.
with the exact same solution as the last time. there's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
This game is really fascinating. If you care about like creative process at all, you'll love this by the time we get to the end of it. It's so good. Here we go. Hey there, did you come from up above? What was up there?
Coda begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
There were these floating colored blocks. That's the world above. You've been there? Now, this is important. You have to get through a puzzle with 2 doors and switches. Yes I did. It was literally the last thing before coming here. Again, perfect. Now please, tell us how you solved it. Tell us the solution, how to get to the other side. I don't remember how I solved it. I'm trying to remember, but I can't. Let's think harder, please. Try to remember. It's important when you escape. Get out of here. You must escape this prison. Can you think harder? There must be something more. Please tell us how to reach the end. Oh, how did you get here? Was there a puzzle you had to pass through? No, I've been here this entire time. Just go to the puzzle sometime. It's not meant to be solved, but you can sit in the black space in the middle. What happens if I solve it? Not sure, but if you have any suspicion what you find won't be worth it. I have another chance to solve it soon. Okay. We press onward.
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
Doesn't matter. Don't know how I'm actually a calm person yet. That's not how it works for me.
It's a lamppost. Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, you know, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
All right. I think you're right, Quest, but keep following along with the story for now. We'll explain and talk about it more at the end. I love this game. That said, it's connected to the internet. All these notes are left by other players. This is interesting because I think this game came out before Dark Souls and Demon Souls. Nice room, not.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're going to see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person.
How do you beat this game?
In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually.
Look at all these notes. Look at them all. Whoa, holy shit. You guys hear me? Hello. Reasonable.
Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes.
Everyone
if
read
not
this.
Doing anything for you, nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them.
Yeah.
Either way, To me, they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
I'm king of the world. World full of notes. Why am I gonna read them all
But
this
it's
summer?
ironic, isn't it, that in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him.
I believe the
have to
blue
be
speech
honest
bubbles
with
can
you,
talk.
This idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think
Sort
this
of
is why
flying
I
penguin.
always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
I just saw a flying penguin. Let me tell you, it's the most majestic thing I've ever seen. I don't feel like living because nothing will ever be as majestic as that. I never want to see any again if nothing will ever be that beautiful again. I'm crying now and planning on ripping my eyes out. I must go now do that. Sure. Yeah, literally every single one of these speech bubbles has a different message as well, but you can see how many there are. You can get to like a bunch of them down there and all the rest of it if you want to take the effort and things, but hey guys, just looking for someone to talk with. You can kind of see what Davey's talking about when you read a few of them. Kind of step through. Did you go to the friggin' bathroom? Recognize me, please. Stuff like that. Anyway. Carry on down here. I help people because of the internal good feeling I get. Look at this. Look at them all. That's where I get off. Stop, turn back. Proceeding further will only result in misery. Cabbage shapes our nation. You can see someone had like a grasp of like the irreverence of the internet comments and stuff like that if this was all written by one person. Like if these were all just written by Coda, you know, he's kind of like all over the place. Don't listen to the other notes. Okay. And some of them are just like random non sequiturs, just like people would leave in a real thing connected to the internet. People just leave stupid messages. Although, to be fair, there's not any like ones like dick or anything like that. Who are all of you? I'm pretending you're other people. Like it's not ones where someone's like written 8 == D and stuff like that. That's more the internet, right? Amazing chest. Yeah, exactly, right? His terrible secret. He kept it well. Tri-finger butthole. Yeah.
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you
Might
what
be
I
dog.
think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one. In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on.
Does puzzle have a solution? I gotta be here for literally an hour. What the fuck do I do? Help! Help! That doesn't make sense. The second door won't open. Shit, how do you solve it? Developer, answers, please.
And because
I
there's
first
this
do
dark
that.
area between the doors, a
Send you back
space
to the start
between
later,
spaces,
guys.
Before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
Hey look, one other person made it through. There's one comment. Cameras? How do you leave notes? Nope. Typewriters. The lamppost again. Hey there, please say something. It can be anything. I just need you to say something. Talk to me, please. Why are you having so much difficulty speaking? Speak, 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 speak. Anyway. Porn stars die too.
Okay,
What an
this
interesting
one is
name for a
tough.
game.
It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Alright. So, as well out there, got some prison bars. Couple of couches, glass table. Table here, some shelving. A picture. If we come over here, this door opens. If we go into the door, the stairs. And there's the picture again. And some more stairs. And, there's a ladder.
This is it. The whole game. And there's nothing
Right,
that's
nope.
particularly interesting about it. You just
We're at the
walk
bottom of
to
the
end
well.
of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
There's the well and the bars. Put furniture ought to go in the center of the room. Put a giant hole in the ground. Alright, that's a table. Okay. Well, on the wall of the room. Let's put a huge picture of a horse. Why not? Damn it. I think we should light up this room a bit. Let's put in live testicles in each corner. Yeah. Damn it. Well, this guy's not listening to me. What do you reckon? Table. You need a table. Tables were invented in 1935. Oh, shit. Wait, what?
There's a bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
Look at all this furniture.
So, okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Hello, please walk forward. Welcome to the Infinite IKEA. Alright, this guy will enable you to escape any prison environment. Follow the instructions carefully. Take care that you remember each step. First, click on this table. Good, now go to the photo frame and click to turn it slightly. There's the dots again. Turn the floor lamp in this room off, then turn it back on. Now go to the left side sofa and move it over a little. Finally, touch the shelves. That's it. In a real prison, the escape window open. Return to the start to be taken to your prison. Okay. So apparently this will let us escape any prison, right? So, okay, shit, we're in the prison. Okay, so what do we need to do?
Now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape.
Damn it.
Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen of them. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this. To see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop. That particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
I love this game. You ready? There's the street lamp. Wasn't really in any of the previous ones, so maybe this one's the one he thinks was good enough to put it in. Hello? Who is this? Hey, it's me. I'm you after you escaped the prison. You're me? You were trapped in this prison too? Yep, I was in the escape tutorial.
And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
Sorry, right now, I'm so glad to know you get out eventually. What's it like to escape? Feels like being completely still and wildly emotional at the same time. You feel any different? Sometimes I'm scared I'll get out and then things will be exactly the same as before. Actually does change. I don't feel like I'm the same person at all. Oh, good. That's so nice to hear. Makes me feel really happy. Still me, but I'm not somehow. It's hard to describe. Hey, if you're me, then how did you get a call from another version of yourself when you were trapped? Yes, I did get a call. That's how I escaped. What did they tell you? What did you have to do to get out? Hi, Axie. All they told me was to be sincere. What? That freed you? How does that work? Just be sincere. Sincere about what? That's what you need to figure out in order to escape.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice?
Remember, he kept making games up till 2011.
So
We still
what
got a
would
way
it
to
be
go.
like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
This is one of the best games. You ready? Oh, we're coming up from like a door.
To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
Door down there, door up there. Oh, this lovely house. Let's go inside and see what's going on. Oh my goodness, I'm glad as all heck that you showed up. Though I'd be having to clean this dire house by myself. That right miserable that would have been. Everyone knows lonesome hens make lousy homes. And lousy homes make home loaners.
The art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
Ah, sometimes it can be fun to do the job with. This place isn't gonna clean itself as far as I know. Finish up here in the meantime. Can you please clear the table? Much nicer. That's the table I want to see. May you please run to the bedroom and make the bed? Oh there, why don't you straighten out the rug a bit? All little details matter. Do you enjoy being a house cleaner? Well, I don't enjoy it as much as I need it. When I'm working, I feel a kind of calm that rests in the pit of my ribcage. My soul just can't be soothed any other way, it seems. Which I guess is about all that matters. Oh, and that tiny couch. Can you straighten the pillows on the sofa a little bit? Not sure what specific neurodivergence or experience for Coda's deep in it. We'll find out. Feel like someone spilled a drink by the couch. Maybe mop that up as long as you're there. We compared to share an incredibly cheesy personal insight. You okay with that? Make it especially cheesy. No. Aw. No, it was stupid, sorry. Never mind. Hey, the dish need to be washed. Why don't you come do that? Must have checked the tub needed a cleaning. Okay. They need to be perfect. We're all just human. Yeah, how about you scrub down as best you can? No need to be perfect. We're just human. Still books scattered on the floor of the bedroom. So, would you put them back on the shelf? Sure. Perfect. Now, how about you come and clear these dishes off the table?
After the intense set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
These chores ever end? Darling, let me tell you something. Whatever work you do, you've got to absolutely own it. Otherwise, it owns you. Why don't we both be with the task at hand? Leave the future chores to future you. President wants to smooth out the rug in the bedroom, believe it or not. Trust me on this one.
I know
Okay.
that Coda really liked this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was, like, grossly happy all the time. Just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
So the tub's got rather dirty. Mind cleaning it up a bit? No, I said I had a really cheesy thought. Instead, it occurs to me that one's house is a lot like one's soul. Take care of it, and it takes care of you. I don't know why I felt so weird about saying that. Be concerned, either manic phase or he's found an escape, he's in extreme danger. There's a bit of truth in it, no? Anyway. So. Housekeeping. Let's keep doing this. Books. Would you please clean up the books? Goodness, pillows all over the couch are a real mess.
I'm glad he made
Go over
this.
and straighten them up.
I'm glad he found some peace.
And folks come over to a messy couch. Question.
But,
You enjoy
of
this?
course, it can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
Yeah, big concern is manic phase who's found an escape is in extreme danger. We'll keep learning more about Coda as we go. There's the lamppost again.
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it.
Items you love
This
at
one
members-only
gets a bit
prices.
goofy.
How'd you come here today? Was it to improve your life? Was it to get a better job? Was it to make your relationships more meaningful? No. You came here to be perfect. So actually I was going to teach you how to be perfect. I want your friends, the people in your life, to look at you and think, wow, this person's a better human being than I am. Right now, who do you think about that way in your own life? Who do you know is so well developed as a person they make you feel disgusted with yourself? Compared to whom you feel useless, selfish, ungrateful, and tend to make you into that person. Perfection is within your grasp. The question is not how we do we do it effortlessly. This is easy. It's so easy. It is so easy.
About halfway through the game,
Being perfect is
perspective
effortless.
shifts.
Scared to do it, cheated to do it with no effort. All the other options are on the way to work. Don't really person start contributing to society. Kids should know to follow their dreams.
Discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
Love the options. I still love you. It's just that make me feel cold on the inside. Being alone must be awful. There's the student with like the Eye of Sauron like portal on the back of the classroom to consume everything. It's crazy. Thank goodness you'll perceive me as being wise and intelligent. Drinking is not hurting my life. But I just have to find the right solutions. You can pick the options that don't do anything, but the game doesn't progress. Do you understand? You won't be happy until you love me. This is for you. Ha 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 ha, just kidding. What if I'm not a good teacher? Everyone, run! Run!
I felt pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most
There's the
relatable
lamppost.
experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human.
You're right, Nay. That house cleaning game is great. It's a fucking phenomenal little game. It's actually kind of fun. Hey, look.
This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
So there's the table, the books, the shelves, and everything. There's no lamp, but this is all the same stuff as the prison. And if you try and like click on any of it, it doesn't work. So there's no prison to escape here, just in case you're curious. But there's a stage. And we're clearly backstage, and that was the green room. Can't go out through the doors, so I guess we gotta go to the stage. There's like the wires and stuff. It's definitely like a big production. Look at all the curtains and everything and all the boxes. Let's get out on stage, see what's going on. Ah! Alright, the performance is beginning. Places, please. No audience. This scene you'll be playing as me. We're at a gathering of professionals. First, you'll start out leaning against this wall. Okay. Good, stay right there. Going across the room in this chair is a professional photographer of animals. Your dream to photograph animals professionally. It's your one chance to learn something from her, to gain something to succeed. Go on, say something to her. Hello. Hello, that's it. That's not a conversation. You actually converse with her. Be a human being. Do it again. I'm super scared right now. No, that's not what I said to her at all. You're missing the tone of the conversation. I was reserved, but I knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason, it's just that one moment, but I was confident. Maybe it's you that need a better feel of the setting. There are a lot of people around us. Do some props to talk with. These cones that bounce when you touch them will represent the people nearby. I'll talk to her again. You must work really hard to get to where you are. You're messing it all up again. Figuring out if the conversation gets that personal that quickly. I realized how important this was for me. I'll never get another opportunity like this again. Everything was riding on this. I want to try something. First, stepping back from the stage. Okay, there's lamppost again. Okay, yes, now this is working. This is what it was like.
With this eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer.
Solid self-critical and utterly deaf voice, true.
After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
Games less games more a way to describe a person going through mental experiences. Mobius trip. To play this game, must keep your eyes closed. Click to begin the game. You guys are gonna be able to see this because it is interesting to actually see it. Because I'm not gonna get you to close your eyes. Actually, you know what? No, close your eyes. It's gonna be really weird. I will try and talk whenever there's a dead space and all the rest of it. Go ahead and close your eyes so you can't see what's going on. I will start it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, you can open your eyes now.
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise. And there is a solution, by the way.
So we're on board the SS Whisper, and there's a giant door coming at us. Everyone's saying they're blind and everything, and no one can figure out what's going on. Oh, stop it to speak something that is honest. Can't keep making these. Yes, that's it. That's the truth. I'm running out of
Like
ideas.
I said, I was getting concerned. First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way.
Thought it was going to be easy. I'm alone. We're going to be okay. You're right, Quest. I'll just pause here for a second so I can agree with you. Yeah, these games are less sort of games after a while, and really are starting to be more of a reflection of Coda the person and what he's going through.
His games are going to get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
End of 2010. He stopped making games in 2011, remember? Alright, we're in a white void. Where am I? Where did the sound come from? Is that a person? How lovely. Been a long time since I talked to anyone. What's wrong? You look lost. I have nothing left to give my work. Oh no. What's happened? Did something change? I like this. Here. We'll kind of explain a little bit that I'm sure Davey will talk about in a second. But you remember there was the Whisper machine much earlier? And if you have a look at both of these, there was a machine that kept me going and it stopped. And I'm trying to find this engine that used to protect me to start it again. So let's talk about the machine. Wait, you're looking for a machine? I think I know where it is. It isn't far. I need to see it to know why it stopped. I can take you to it, but there's a problem.
If the last game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
If I take you to it, there's a problem. So, gotta buy a difficult puzzle. If you can help me solve the puzzle, we'll find the machine. Deal? Deal. Doesn't matter what I'm saying, does it? You're gonna end up there one way or another, right? If you press 3, which is what I did, it still just says deal anyway. Now we got a Torii gate. Perfect. Come along, I'll show it to you.
Because from my perspective at the time, and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
Perfect. Come along, I'll show it to you. Here's a puzzle. What do you think? And we got, hey, I recognize this. I've solved this puzzle before, and this is easy. I've solved this puzzle before. Oh, wonderful. Can you tell me how to do it? First, you have to open the door. And we actually have to solve this one by explaining it this time, too. You can't actually just wander over and press the things. Okay, now what? Now you have to close the first door. Alright, what's next? Now just press the switch here. Ah, it was so simple.
You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
Oh, it was so simple. I can't believe I never solved this before. Nothing left to give to my work. Where did the sun come from? Where am I? These are the answers I gave to the questions. Just some words on the walls. Trust me, you'll see. So that your work is fun and easy. You have to say game development is simple and joyous, that you love it 100% of the time. Okay. Making games is easy. Oh, it feels wonderful. But it wasn't true. Don't worry about it, just keep talking. Keep saying that creation is easy. When I make games, I feel completely energized.
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering.
That was one statement with whiteness. I get it, that's a weird thing to say to someone you just met. You have to open the door. There's these floating colored blocks. Hey, it's me, I'm you, after you escape from the prison. These are all dialogue from the previous games with dialogue. Don't worry about me. The place is nice, so we got to stay here all night. This is one of the ones from the cleaning game. It's one of the options you can get. I played through this a few times to see some of the different dialogue to see if it all matched up with the walls here. And it does. Every time I make something, I feel better about myself. Hope I'm blind.
This is someone I really cared about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me.
Perfect, that feels fantastic. None of this is helping. Patience, you have to trust me. I promise this will work. Please continue. Any sacrifice I make for my worth are worth it 100% of the time. Look, do you enjoy being a house cleaner?
This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it.
Yes, more, keep going.
I wanted to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop.
I will be saved by my work. Ready for the big reveal here? There's the lamppost. And there's the prison. There's a woman crying in the prison. No way around it. You can't lie to yourself, it's true. Very true. And there's no way out. Your only option is to walk into the prison. 'Cause the prison is the only option. 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 'Cause the prison is
But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
May of 2011. Finally at the point where he stopped making games. Or roundabout, the year he stopped making games. This is a game called The Machine. Yeah, I'm glad to see you arrived safely. We captured the machine. It's waiting for you now. We begin the interrogation whenever you like. And we got options. Intend to be quick, quiet, or brutal. For interest in making this as interesting as possible, I intend to be brutal. Very good. Beyond that someone called the press, we might have a bit of attention on this one. Also, one more thing you should know about the machine. It calls itself Coda. There's all the press. All the questions. Do you know where the poisonous games come from? What you do with it? Did you capture the machine? We have answers. No. What are your next actions? Where's the machine now? That's horrifying. Oh, it's gonna get a little bit worse, I hate to tell y'all. And here's the machine.
And of course, it's the machine.
Is this a self-flagellation? It sure is. You stopped. Your work was keeping us alive. It's only because of your creations that any of us can make it through every day. So here's what needs to happen. Go to the people who are out there and apologize to them. Think carefully, I know how to hurt you. Alright then, I will speak to them for you. My friends, I have a troubling revelation. Machine refuses to admit that it deliberately hurt us. We'll find a way to live without it. We do not need its games. Let us show it that we are not failures. Follow me. We will destroy everything that the machine has created. Here's the stage again. How's this for a metaphor? Pretty bleak, right? Coda, I'll make sure your work dies here. Is that what you're scared of? Having to live without your precious creations? Having to deal with yourself?
Now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realized that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
Here's the room that had all the game ideas. There's the door.
So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
There's the lamppost again. First weapon, destroy the last. Can't be any other human. The wrong person could make it worse. Oh, yeah. Down your weapon.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need. To be told that my work is good. That I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something... I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy.
But was it really? Well, like I said earlier, stay along for the ride. We're not done yet.
So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
Alright, here we go. The Tower. The final stop in our journey with Davey and Coda. So, green orange room. Coda's Coda, 100%. And we come out here.
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game.
And we've got a massive tower in front of us. Not really much else going on in this one. Well, at least not yet. And, there's the tower itself.
Actually has a maze in it. Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise. So the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played. It actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
Love the old just source walls here. There is a solution. I've seen people actually play through this game in videos and be like, yeah, there's actually a solution. You can actually get through the whole maze.
Like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze?
Starting to see a problem here. We'll talk about it shortly, but that line there has a massive, massive problem with it.
The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
Okay, hates these modifications. Done this. Put the attention on him. Just be quiet and watch. No worries, boss. Kind of the point. I'm glad that somebody here has actually seen this game before. I've not met anybody else that I know personally that's actually played through the beginner's guide before, so it's interesting to find someone else that's played it. Also very sleepy. That's okay. Glad you're here.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door. meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges, and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that.
That's the switch.
Was I a failure for not understanding this game? I mean, I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why.
I think it's probably from this
it's
interference.
June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean.
There you are.
And he wouldn't.
There's the 3 dots I was talking about. I wanted to point them out because they do come up later. Doesn't know what no means?
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left. And it felt somehow like I had failed.
Look at all those pathways over there. It's like some of the previous games. Look at all the alternate paths that aren't relevant to the actual game. That wording is dangerous. Hold on to that thought. Just a little bit longer. We're not too far to go, and then we can have a really good discussion about this game. It's utterly fascinating quest, and we're so close to being done.
Where did I screw up?
All right. There it is. Dear Davey, thank you for your interest in my games. I need to ask you to not speak to me anymore.
I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you. I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
I wonder at times whether you think I'm making these games for you. Keep in mind, none of these rooms should have been accessible with the original way the game was. Without editing it, he never would have seen this message, which means if he saw the message, then he knew that, you know, he'd edited the game to see it.
And the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, it was... I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
So infected my personal space that it's possible I did begin to plant solutions in my work somewhere, hidden between games. There was an answer, a meaning. Would it make you any happier? Would you stop taking my games and showing them to people against my wishes? Giving them something that is not yours to give, violating the one boundary that keeps me safe? Would you stop changing my games? Stop adding lampposts to them?
And then you stopped, and I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing.
Would you simply let them be what they are? I'm around you, I feel physically ill. Desperately need something, I cannot give it to you. I literally do not have it. Struggling to come up with new ideas is not making me depressed. Low points are just part of the process. The fact you think I'm frustrated or broken says more about you than about me. I realize this doesn't make sense to you just yet. It's fine, you're not my problem to solve. But I do hope that one day it clicks, that you make peace with this thing you are wrestling.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
When you finally see what I'm talking about, don't say anything. One last time. And there's no lever this time.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work. Is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. And I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
Do you see the walls closing in on him there? Hey, look. Train station. Whose story really was it? We'll talk about that in a second. I know I keep saying that, but we're really close to the end, and we can actually discuss what it all meant.
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease.
Where's the solution to this? I'm just trying to remember. Ah, yeah, here.
Solution.
Yeah.
I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons.
It's a really interesting comment, that one. When you know some of where this game comes from, it's never been fully explained where this game comes from and what it is.
The disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
But we'll cover that when we cover the interesting little things to talk about with this game, because it does have a lot to talk about. So I ordered it as part of the book club. These sceneries in this game, even for being just in the Source engine, are fascinating. Quite fantastical and abstract, and just really fun to wander around in. This game is just.
If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like.
So good. It's very, very interesting meditation on some heavy topics, to be honest. It's a lot.
What now?
And like I said about The Witness, this game doesn't have a particularly fast movement speed, but
I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for, and so I'm just gonna... Okay.
But yeah, like the walking speed in this one doesn't feel slow at times. Like this is a really good way of conveying the story and making sure that like the scenery has the right amount of weight to it. So that as you explore through the levels and things like that, you don't feel like you're going too slow and you're being held back, but you also have the time to appreciate the scenery and take it in, which is something The Witness kind of failed to do, because you're stopping at the line puzzle so much, but you don't have the time to really take it all in unless you're looking for the environmental puzzles, and even then, you're not taking the time to actually appreciate what you're looking at. You're just looking for solutions to puzzles. It's interesting, all three of these games that we've sort of gone through, except for the look at that sort of more of a parody, has a different meditation on like perspective of the concept of trying to find a solution to things. Yeah, this game hits like a sledgehammer. It really does, and we still just got like a little bit left, and then I'll actually talk about some of the stuff around the development of this game and things, because it's something I've read into a lot, because this game, this is my third time playing through it in its entirety. You can jump to different chapters and look at things and all the rest of it, and every time I've played it, I've come out of it, I'm gonna come out of it again today feeling the same way, because it really does make you stop and think about some things that you do, and sort of the nature of creativity and making things and having an audience and all the rest of it. And I'll get into it a bit more shortly, because we've just got one final thing to see here. You might even see it down the end of this this last corridor in this last final game in the epilogue of the tower, after Davey's basically, you know, gone against Coda's wishes one last time, and he's, you know, shown all these games to the world, and even worse this time, he's put these all out on the internet as part of this collection, as part of the beginner's guide. And right at the end of it all, we come back to one of like, this was one last thing, everything we knew about Coda is who Davey thinks Coda is. Yep. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that. But right at the end of this very last game is what was at the end of the very first game, at the end of the SS Whisper, at the end of the Whisper Drive, Escape from Whisper. It's the Whisper Drive. And if we walk into it, we die. Only just like last time, we ascend. And we see that it actually transitions to a completely different level. And we see an infinite, and I truly mean infinite, maze at the end of everything, at the end of all of what Coda wanted to make. If this even was made by Coda, if this wasn't something that Davey was telling us about himself or anything like that, is a truly infinite maze. There's no way to know the correct way through it. There's no way to know where it goes. It's actually strangely beautiful in a way, to just be able to look around everywhere and just see that this maze just goes on as far as the horizon in every single direction. And as we float up higher, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And there's the point where we started. Like you can see, it literally has maze pathways the whole entire way. And I mean, it could just be a texture down there, and they've just drawn a, you know, recursive pattern to make the maze. But you can kind of see like the shapes even out to the distance where it goes gray and everything. That's it. That's the beginner's guide.
Turn back. Turn back from this cave. You said, let me prove that I'm brave. Let me keep going. But the cave goes for miles and miles and miles. And you're so tired, but I know that you're strong. So turn back. Turn back.
That's it. That's all of it. So, let me just move us on over. It clicks now. So it's really interesting. It's fascinating in a way, this game, because before I stop messing with my creations. So we need to talk about a few different things and all the rest of it. Was this a real story or a construct? Glad that you're here, Mars. Welcome. So Video Game Book Club. We're gonna do some critical media literacy and talk about some of the stuff in this game. It's creator's bane and stuff like that. It really is. And I mean, this game is about the nature of creation and the nature of praise and what you get out of creating something and whether or not you feel internally validated or externally validated. That's the core of the story, right? Like, Coda gets an internal validation from everything they create. They make the games to enjoy themselves, and they send them to the people they want to experience them. And Davey Wreden, the story Davey Wreden, the name of the creator of the Stanley Parable, the name of the creator of the Beginner's Guide, but it's not the real Davey Wreden. It's a character. Coda's not real either. Just to spoil that one for you, Mars. This isn't based on a real story. It's entirely fabricated. There is some parts of it that are based in some true feelings and stuff that people involved experienced, which we'll come back to in a second. But at the shallowest level, it's a game about someone who made games, someone who was given those games, and the interference they had in that person's creations. And like I said, whether or not you find internal external validation, Coda is internally validated. And as it turns out, Davey was looking for that external validation. He was looking for other people to provide the validation and the commentary on his work. He cared about the opinions of the audience. That's why he went in and made the games playable and did the things that allowed you to finish the games, to get past the maze, to find your way past the stairs that were infinite and couldn't let you go up because your speed slowed down infinitely. And all of these other little things that happened that made it so that the games had no endings. And that was what Coda wanted. He didn't necessarily want for his games to have endings. He made them for the act and the joy of creation itself. Correct. Half-finished games and stuff like that are really common as experiment with game engines. The point of them wasn't necessarily to have an ending, but Coda put them in there because he put a part of himself into his games and into the things that he created, and that's what he wanted, right? And that's sort of where this becomes this interesting commentary on, like I said, internal versus external validation. The machine in the game about the machine says that it calls itself Coda, and that Coda's the one that's depressed, and the rest of it and things like that, about wanting, you know, to make games and that they're easy and everything like that, was probably something that the Coda in the storyline really went through with Davey messing with their games and all the rest of it. But if you stop and think about it for a second, Davey was putting in the lampposts. Davey was changing the speed in the games. Davey made the walls disappear. Davey did, you know, the code on the floor for you to get through the tower. Davey messed with a lot of stuff in the games and everything like that. What's to say that that game didn't say that the machine was called Davey, and that Davey was the one that was putting the pressure on Coda to make the games and all the rest of it? And that's the whole entire point, right? Is that when we start looking at this from a critical media lens, we start to realize that Davey Wreden, the character, not the creator, the real world entity, but the character is a textbook example of an unreliable narrator. He's narrating the game, he's presenting everything from his perspective, which isn't fully reliable. He doesn't know what Coda was thinking. And at the end, when we find out that he's been the one that's editing the games and stuff like that, we can't say for sure that anything that we actually experienced was real. He changed the chores game so that it wasn't just an endless loop. That could have been a really fun game that you could play for a while, and then you've got the option to quit it on your own. But Davey chose when the ending was. Davey made so many different changes to how the games worked that we don't know for sure if what we played in any of those games was what Coda intended, if that's what Coda made, or whether or not they're things that Davey finished to release them as an apology to Coda, which comes back to Quest's point earlier about, stop trying to fix him, stop messing up what he was doing. He didn't need to be fixed. It says more about Davey. The Davey representation made it exactly right. Like, that's the whole entire point, is that what Davey was trying to do to Coda, not even necessarily for Coda, he thought he was doing it for Coda, but what he ended up doing to Coda influenced everything. And we just don't know how reliable any of the stuff that was said was, right? So textbook unreliable narrator. So that's sort of when you get a couple of layers deep into this and you start looking at it, you got the surface level story, which is what was presented. And then when you start looking at it a bit more critically, you notice these stuff about the unreliable narrator. You start to question the beliefs of what was presented. You start to look at how much of this is actually real. And then when you go to the next sort of level above, we start talking about, stuff about like death of the author. It's supposed to be done after someone who's made something has died, more often than not, so that you can look at other lenses and stuff that it can be presented through. And it's a very great literary tool and all the rest of it, because we can start looking at what happens around the works and stuff like that. I'll come back to this point in a second. I just need to do some squats. Hey, Rao, how you doing? 1, 2, 4, and 5. Okay, because as I said, right, so this is based on some real stuff that happened. So if you go and look into it, and now that the game's over, feel free to go and look into this some more and all the rest of it about the beginner's guide if you're interested. So this came out after the Stanley Parable. I said that very early on. He said that very early on. I mean, wouldn't be in the opening narration, hey, I made the Stanley Parable, if the game wasn't out before the beginner's guide. But part of where this comes from is Davey Wreden, the real person, the guy who made this game, suffered some pretty serious depression. And hasn't really shied away from it. It's a bit hard to find a lot of the stuff he said originally about it some days now and all the rest of it. But he did go through a very big depression. He used to have a blog, which he doesn't maintain anymore. And he did like a whole long form comic, I guess is the best way of putting it, on there about what he went through after the Stanley Parable came out. And a big part of it, and this is where the concept of internal and external validation comes back in. But a big part of it is, sure, the Stanley Parable won some awards, but the year that it came out, it was nominated for a lot. And I mean, like, a lot of awards. And different gaming sites would do their, like, I don't want to shit on any in particular, so I won't name any. I'm sure you've seen them. I'm sure you've seen them in Steam and stuff as well, where they do their end of year, game of the year sort of thing and all the rest of it. And for a lot of sites, the Stanley Parable was nominated a lot for Game of the Year in a lot of different places. And more often than not, it didn't win. So there is some awards that it won. There is some validation there. But it would get nominated quite a bit and didn't get that final thumbs up, that final push, that final, okay, you're the Game of the Year sort of thing. And at some point, it really got to Davey, and he talks about it. It's worth trying to find the post if you can. But he talks about that when the game first came out and the players reacted to it and he saw people enjoying the game, he really loved it, and he really liked the feelings that it gave him to see people talk about his game and say that they loved his game and all the rest of it. And then at some point it started becoming him focusing on the awards. And when the Stanley Parable didn't win stuff, he started to take it more personally, more often as he saw different sites where he didn't win and things like that. At least that's the sort of the interpretation I got from how he puts it. And I think that really and this is my analysis of it, and this is sort of the meta-analysis of the whole entire narrative, right, is that it really started to affect him in a way that affected his ability to create, and his ability to come up with new ideas, his ability to do things, and he kept being worried about, well, this was a big hit with the players, but it wasn't good enough to win awards. What if my next game, my next creation, my next endeavor isn't good enough? What if people don't like it as much as they like the Stanley Parable? What if this was like a one-hit wonder in the video game world, right? And so that's sort of where Davey started to, run into these issues and run into these, anxieties and problems. And it really feels to me like that's where this game came from, right? Like the Davey in this game is at some level a representation of the real Davey Wreden. It's clearly a character. It's clearly a characterization. A caricature of the person. It's not how he was exactly, but by presenting this alternative persona, shall we say, of Coda, who was making these things and just made them because he enjoyed making them. That's sort of like the old Davey. And then these people asking him, well, what's the meaning behind the Stanley Parable? What's this mean? What's that mean? How does this all work together? Or why is there no solution to this? Or what's the real answer to the, the game and stuff like that? Because anyone who's played the Stanley Parable, and spoilers if you haven't, there is a shitload of different endings in that game. There's a shitload of different ways you can go. And I know people out there, I've seen it online and stuff like that, that were like, so which one's the true ending? Like how does the Stanley Parable really end? It's a multipath game. What's the real ending to the game? And I think that at some point, that kind of would wear on a creator that was trying to just make something that, was telling a story. It doesn't need to have a specific ending be canon, right? Anyone who's played the Stanley Parable knows what I'm talking about. Like, that game doesn't need to have a canon ending. But, people want things to make sense. And I think that at some point that external validation and the friction it caused and the pressure it put on him made him lose sight of the internal validation. And I think that, both Coda and Davey are parts of the real Davey Wreden. And that's why this game's really... I know I'm just sitting here just talking about this game and all the rest of it. We just played through it. And it's why I come back to this game every now and again. Like I said, I've played through this a few times. Like, the game takes a little over an hour to get through. It's how long we took to experience that story. And I paused it a few times and made it take a little bit longer. But this game isn't very long, and you can sort of come back to it when you forget what this game was really telling us, and you could look at it and seriously, Quest, Mars, anyone else that's here that has any interest in content creation at all, Verdi is still around, or HD as well, so I know you two were around earlier as well. Take some of what this game is trying to say to you, right? It's not perfect. It's not telling a perfect message. Don't look at this as like a perfect representation of what being a creator is like, right? Don't take this as a beginner's guide, as the game's called, for how to feel about content creation. But just remember that sometimes stuff isn't about external validation. If the people who are your audience, if the people you're making the content for like it, that's good. Like focus on that, but don't make it your primary focus of what you're doing. Like, internalize that internal validation. Feel happy about what you made yourself. Like, if you come out of a stream or something like that, right? If you come out of a stream and you feel really good about what you made, or you come out of a podcast and you feel great about what you recorded, or you edit a video or a clip of another VTuber or something like that, and you feel like you really added something to that experience and that you like the things that you made, make sure that you focus somewhat on that internal validation. Don't make it all about the external, because that way lies madness, right? Like, really, really trust me on this. And a lot of other content creators talk about it a lot, but if you make things all about what the audience thinks, you'll stop having fun. And I mean, isn't that part of the joy of content creation? Like, I mean, some of us want to do this for a job, some of us want to do it as a hobby, some of us do it for fun, but the major part of why we even get started in the first place is because you've got something you wanted to say, or you've got someone who you wanted to say a counterpoint to something they did, or you just have fun with it, right? And I think that's important to remember. And no matter how long you go through doing this journey and how much you spend time making content, make that an important part of what you do. All right. these comments in chat. I didn't miss them. I didn't ignore you guys. I just wanted to get that point out because it's a lot, and I have a lot to talk about with this game. Man, you're really good at dissecting this stuff. Have a hard time looking past face value. Really interesting to hear you about it. I will be completely transparent, right? Because this is why I wanted to end with the beginner's guide for this stream, for the video game book club, for the first ever time we do this. Because I don't want to come back. I don't want to do this again. Like I said earlier on, for anyone who missed it, we talked about a few different games tonight. We talked about some puzzle games, the story, and stuff like that. And I would like anyone who is interested, and don't feel forced, don't feel pressured. If you are interested, the Talos Principle is my recommendation from this one. We'll come back in about a month's time. I want people to have played through the game if they are interested, and we'll talk about the Talos Principle and the storyline and sort of do some critical media literacy on that game, because it's very interesting. I'm gonna have to play through it again myself before then, so I need a month as well to do it in between stuff. But it's definitely a good game. Definitely grab that one and try it out. But a big reason of why I've been nervous to do this, and this is an idea that I've had rattling around in my brain for over a year now, and finally felt confident enough to do it, is this is a hard concept to sell, right? But I enjoy being able to look at a game like this, something that has a story, something that's like a small bite-sized thing. They don't necessarily all have to be small, but something that you can go, you can play, you can get into, you can delve deep into the story, and you can see these different aspects of what they're trying to tell you, and then have a discussion around it. And next time, I would like to have some people possibly come on and jump in Discord, and we can talk about it and all the rest of it if you play through the game. So yeah, and seriously, Mars, you know, when you say it's really interesting to hear me talk about it and all the rest of it, I first played this game back in 2013, I think, when it first came out. Around then, not long after it first came out, I just got recommended it randomly on Steam. I picked it up then. That was the first time I played it, and I've done a lot of reading and a lot of research into this game, because like you, when I first got to the end of this game, I was like, is this a real story? Is this really something that happened to somebody? Maybe it wasn't Davey and it wasn't some guy named Coda or something like that. Maybe this is a story he wanted to get out there that happened to a real person. It's not, obviously, but over the years I've read more about it and thought more about it and dissected the story a bit, and you know, I've got a lot to say, obviously. Also, yeah, it's a bit too much effort for a leave my things alone final message. Look, to be honest, I mean, it's a big part of it, right? Like, don't go... I mean, I think part of the message isn't just necessarily leave my things alone as well, Quest. It's also don't show my things to other people that I didn't personally give it to. Like, keep the private things private. If something gets shared with you in private, keep it private, sort of thing. And also don't go meddling in other people's work and modifying it, like, without permission. You know, like, if... I think, and this is sort of internal headcanon sort of thing, but if you think about it, if Davey was like, I really like this thing, I think this person would like it, maybe you should show it to them, Coda. That's better than just taking the thing Coda gave you and gave just to you and showing it to somebody else, sort of thing. It's sort of about, you know, respecting the creator's wishes and stuff like that to an extent, and, you know, not necessarily meddling in their affairs. Like you said, leave my things alone, but there's a lot of levels to it. If you only make things other people want you to make, in the end, you'll never truly make what you like. It's part of you at the end of the day. Oh, dude, 100%. And that's that internal validation, right? Is if you make things just to please somebody else, you won't make good stuff. That's my dead set opinion on that, right? Like, if you make things just to please somebody else, you won't enjoy what you're making, and they won't be as good as they could be if you put some of yourself into it and make the things that you want to hear, right? Like, if you're if you're making videos, or you're streaming and you're saying things on your stream, and you think to yourself at the end of it, you know, like, why was I talking about that? No one wants to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Then why were you doing it, sort of thing? Like, at some point you have to ask yourself, why are you making the stuff that you make? And if you're doing streams and you're playing games that you think, hey, other people might enjoy this, like, you know, hey, there's lots of people out there that have never seen Final Fantasy, like, 1 through 6 sort of thing. The games are out. I'm going to stream them because it's something that I care about and I can be passionate about it. And that passion translates into interest, and people will be more likely to watch and things like that. You know, I'm not... I'm the furthest person from number chasing on this platform, it feels like sometimes. Like, I'm not saying, hey, everyone unfollow me and make my numbers as low as possible, but I like where I'm at, but I'm not out there, like, pushing myself anywhere near as hard as some people I see in the VTuber or the streamer space to try and get their numbers up. I'm happy where I'm at. If I get bigger, cool. If I don't, also cool. I'm cool either way, right? This is a hobby for me. The fact that you all come and watch me talk and be a weirdo on the internet, whatever you want to call it, right? And support me in what I do means a lot to me, and I love every second of it. But, you know, if I started my stream tomorrow and there was only 5 people watching, I'd be cool with that too, right? Like, which makes this such like a nerve-wracking stream, and I was really nervous the last few days when I put this on my schedule. Like, it took a lot to actually just go, right, how am I going to do this? How am I going to structure this video game book club? How do I want to do it? Because I feel like games are an art form that make, you know, people can actually talk about in this way. And like, if I really wanted to sit down, and it would take hours, because we'd need people to actually play through The Witness properly. And again, I don't think it's necessarily a good game. There is so much in that game you can talk about, and many other people across the internet have. And I don't know if I could necessarily add anything to the discussion with my own perspective on it. But when it comes to something like the beginner's guide, like I said, there's not many people that have played it, so I really felt like I could really contribute to the discussion around this game. Goal of internal validation, making thumbnails. I love making thumbnails. I knocked together the one for this stream in like 10 minutes, and it was good. I had fun. You know, just like I said, knocked it together in 10 minutes. But I liked it. I had fun. I messed around with some stuff, found some assets, made it. I was like, you know what, I like that. So, you know, we just went with it. Gonna chase numbers, but enjoy the research and experimentation for its own sake. 100% Quest. Yeah, no, definitely you need some more of that internal validation. Davey, please just freaking ask Coda. His unreliability is narrow, makes you doubt whether he asked it all before concluding our recluse. He didn't. Like, that's the surface level reading of the narrative, right? Is that Coda gave him stuff because he pestered him constantly, and Coda was like, well, maybe if I give him some stuff, he'll fucking leave me alone because he's a pain in my ass. And then Coda was talking to other people that they knew running in the same social circles as, you know, small indie developers and stuff like that. Literally not just as the meme this time. And other people were like, oh, Coda, I really love that thing you made and blah, blah, blah. And what's the deal with all the light posts and all of your stuff that you make? And he started being like, well, where did you see my stuff? I never gave it to you. Oh, I got it from Davey sort of thing. And then, you know, that's how he found out and grew bitter and poisoned. And, you know, people were like, man, that puzzle solution to the doors and stuff was so cool. And oh man, you know, having to wait for an hour in the cage, that was really, really interesting. What a fascinating, like, look at how games work and all the rest of it. Which, the waiting for like an hour in the cave sort of thing, I did talk about this in the Witness, where that was like the video where you had to wait 56 minutes. The Witness came out way after this game. I don't know if this came out after Braid necessarily, but like Braid has a puzzle in it because there's some secret stars in that game, another Jonathan Blow game like The Witness, where you have to stand on a cloud for an in-game, I think it's like 4 hours for this cloud to move over for you to get one of the secret stars in the level. And it's just like, why, sort of thing, and all the rest of it. So, yeah. Game is amazing. Thank you for sharing, buddy. Gonna head off since while I was taking your bedtime. No worries, neighbor. Thank you for being here. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Makes me play Gloom again. Actually, scoured through the properly for the first time. Be here for more of the next book club. If you want to be Mars, definitely try and come back for it. Like I said, we'll be talking about Talos Principle. I will also be taking suggestions in the Discord. I'm going to make a channel for it. I haven't yet, for people to suggest games for the next book club. Because, like, when we get to the end of the next one, we'll talk about the Talos Principle, do a bit of an introduction to the next game. I'll make sure I have it ahead of time, and then give people a month to play it and bring people back together to talk about whatever games they are. Shorter experiences are better, obviously, for this sort of program. And they don't necessarily have to be something that's like fully action-packed and great stream content necessarily. Like I can make something like the Beginner's Guide interesting enough. The game's very interesting on its own. I didn't have to do much talking or anything to make it interesting. But it's the conversation afterwards, which is why I wanted to show something like this off in its entirety. Whereas something like the Talos Principle, we'd be here for like 10 hours for me to get through that entire game. And at the end of it, I don't think we would have gained anything necessarily that you wouldn't have by being able to play through it yourself and make your own dialogue choices and stuff like that. Kai, apparently you're in The Witness. I don't remember buying it all. I looked at my Steam friends list to see who owned these games that I played. I think you're the only person. Oh, actually, I think there's 2 people on my friends list, Kai, that own The Witness. And Mars actually owns The Witness as well. So there's one friend that's played it recently. Yeah, Kai, a couple other friends. Ash also has it. No one else has really played it recently enough for Steam to actually tell me. I think a few people I know own the Talos Principle. Obviously, oh no, it's definitely been in a few bundles. Yeah. Good chunk before you got stuck. Game is brutal. Neighbor also did say earlier they played through the Talos Principle. Is definitely worth playing, but yeah, none of the VTuber siblings or anything have the Talos Principle. I have like 31 hours in it, like I said. Game is fantastic. I think that we'll come back to it with like quite a bit to say for that one. And also the Talos Principle is like much kinder in its puzzle design. I think by the time I finished The Witness the first time, I had to look up... Ow, thank you, Toe, for the hydrate. I think by the time I finished The Witness the first time, I had to look up like 10 or so puzzle solutions total. I never looked up any solutions throughout the entire Talos Principle. When I got to the DLC, Road to Gehenna, I had to look up a few solutions because it's a bit more obtuse. But yeah, definitely worth checking out. Good fun game. I think the funniest thing is that yeah, some of the end game achievements for Talos Principle, just looking at now, have like 10% completion. You'd never be able to finish a game like The Witness. I think you'd be surprised, though. If you only have to solve, like I said, 7 full regions of the game, not all 11, and then the final puzzle, if you don't do like the bonus ending sort of thing, is surprisingly straightforward compared to the rest of the game. Like, it's actually kind of shocking how easy that game is at the end. Yeah. Anyway, I won't necessarily spoil that one. If anyone wants to play it, they can play it themselves. The secret true ending of that game pissed me off, though. It's so fucking stupid. Anyway, we won't talk about that. We won't necessarily spoil it if anyone wants to play through The Witness. But yeah, that's pretty much been it from me. Has anyone got anything else I wanted to say about the beginner's guide before we start wrapping things up? I think this was a fun little exercise. Thank you. I was hoping it would be good. I'm really fucking nervous. Oh, seriously, like actually incredibly nervous going into this one. I was like, if I keep telling people it's fun, hopefully it will be. Oh, jeez. Really enjoyed the dissection. Thank you. Kind of the big thing that I want to do with it. Like, it's why I went with the name Video Game Book Club, right? Like, for a book club, you know, everyone reads the same book and you get together and discuss it. You do a bit of critical dissection of what the story is about and all the rest of it. And I think the next time will be even better now that we've got people to like buy in and all the rest of it. But it's I thought about it, and I thought one of the ways that I wanted to do this was to like just ask people on Discord or on Twitter and be like, hey, who wants to play this game, get together and talk about it later on stream. But I felt like it was better to sort of try and introduce the idea, go through some stuff, give you guys a sort of a taste of what we want the streams to be. And like, if you have friends or anything like that you think might be interested in the games, or might want to, you know, if you know anyone out there that might want to jump in and join the stream, or like any of the siblings that want to jump in and join the stream and stuff like that for the next time to actually talk about it on stream. Like, that's kind of the point of what I want to get to. And not just like content creators, like even if you're just someone who's here, who's in the Discord and stuff like that, and you feel comfortable coming on stream and all the rest of it, we can have a chat, and I'll make sure that, you know, I feel comfortable having you on the stream and everything like that. But, you know, we want to just, you know, bring the community together and talk about these things and have a bit of a discussion about it. And if you don't want to be on stream, I'll come up with a way for people to provide some of the dissections and their thoughts on it ahead of the stream, so we can, you know, discuss talking points and stuff like that on the stream as well. So work better with more people playing the same games. Yeah, it really will. See if we can find something thought-provoking for sure. Like, no rush or anything like that. Like I said, I want to probably do this like once a month. So as soon as we got the Talos Principle next time, we got a couple of months to finish whatever the next game is. So I'll open up the channel and let people pop some suggestions in. Such a wonderful idea. Thank you. Oh man. Well, I've had a blast. I'm gonna like go and experience that. Like, I don't know if anyone else has had this, right? It's like the opposite of anxiety, where you finish a game that's like super thought-provoking and you kind of just sit there in this like sort of meditative, like, fuck, that was a really deep message sort of moment, where you're kind of like grasping at the idea and trying to like just turn it over in your head until you kind of like go, yeah, okay, I think I can internalize some of the good out of this and all the rest of it, which is what I got from every time I've played through the beginner's guide. Like, every time I finish it, I'm always just sort of in this place where I'm like, man, what am I going to take away from this again? Like, what have I learned? What has changed since the last time I did it. And I like to think that, you know, I've kind of taken some of that ideas and tried to get a lot of that internal validation when I make stuff. So, yeah. Alrighty, let's find someone to raid into. I'll get out of here. But thank you all for hanging out. If you're here for the whole entire stream, I really appreciate you being here. It's been an absolute blast. I love that game, obviously. Like, I've got nothing but good things to say about it, so it's been wonderful. I'm looking at all my siblings and I'm like, man, everyone's like playing stuff that's like such tonally different from what we just played through that it's kind of hard to be like, right, let's go and raid into someone playing like Call of Duty or Genshin Impact or something like that. Man, all right. Let's have a look. Looks a kitten. Yeah, there's a few like Ten's playing Genshin. Kaylee and Barker appear to be playing Call of Duty together. Aqua is playing Elden Ring. Oh, I know what game Sean's playing. He's playing White Day, which is like kind of like Resident Evil and kind of like Fatal Frame at the same time. It's quite good. I think it's probably the best option we got here. Definitely want to raid into one of the siblings. So let's go raid everybody's favorite human with 2 U's, obviously. That's how you spell the word human, right? 2 U's. All right. Raid. Rest of my day, rest of my night. But thank you, boss. Raid message is there. If you're a sub, grab those RSK hearts. That'll give you the lovely heart emojis there. Otherwise, you can grab those purple Twitch hearts. And again, thank you all for being here. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for supporting this this very different idea that I had, and hopefully we can then enjoy more of it going forward into the future. But for now, I've been Avros Kargath. You've all been wonderful. I've had a lovely time this evening. I'm gonna go not curl up in a ball and cry, but like, you know, just really sink into some thoughts about the Beginner's Guide again. And I hope you have a good rest of your morning, afternoon, and evening. Hope I've provoked some thoughts. Enjoy the Talos Principle if you decide to play it. And I'll open up that channel in the Discord soon for some more suggestions. But that's going to be it from me. I will catch you all on Friday. Fight Night this week is a Higa Fam collab, playing a bit of Viscera Cleanup Detail. So I will see you all on Friday for that if you come along. Otherwise, I will catch you all next time. Lots of Abby.